moving on with the... Oh, and it's gone. Why is it gone?
As it should be.
Wait, okay, we're no longer...
As it
Excellent.
was written.
Okay.
A little bit of delay on stream, a little bit of delay on OBS, but we're finally there. Excellent. Have we all been, guys?
Oh, great, fantastic. Ready for an adventure.
Ready for an adventure. Don't worry, I'm sure this week will be just nice and calm. It'll be a nice, happy adventure.
Mosey.
Yep. We'll have lots of cooking today. We're planning on just doing a full kitchen breakdown. This is the cooking live stream.
Yeah.
We are going we're gonna play Cooking Mama for the Nintendo DS.
We're gonna be live streaming our attempt at world record attempting speedrun of Cooking Mama 2.
Oh, my favourite.
Oh, my favourite.
Choice.
Somebody's watched Jaden. But yes, we are live again for our wonderful bi-weekly session, emphasis on the bi, of D&D. So, without further ado, how about we go around and introduce everybody? And I'm getting texts. God damn it. Let's mute all of the socials, because I feel like they're on stream.
I say I had it just off screen slightly. When you said emphasis on the bi, I was prepared to.
I was waiting on the flag coming up, to be honest. I really was.
I misclicked. So sad.
Okay, you can try again next Pride Month.
Next Pride. I'm a bit late if I'm aiming for this Pride.
Okay.
You miss every shot you don't take.
So,
dog.
Without further ado, wonderful. Dog's on stream, guys.
Dog's on
Quickly, zoom into the dog. Get the views.
Subscribe, guys, if you want to see this dog.
Subscribe if you would like to see this dog and learn her name. She does have one. But you don't get to know it yet.
Spoiler alert, she does have a name.
Spoiler
alert.
You gave away the without sub goals?
Wow.
Come on.
Are we really a Twitch streamer without sub-goaling your dog's name?
Everybody subscribe or the dog does not get fed. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Each subscription gives one piece of kibble.
Wow, we're going to need a lot of subscriptions.
One piece
We're going to need a lot. So, without further ado, how about we all introduce ourselves again, get into the habit of saying who we're playing, and just go around the table. Let's start with Stan, because it's always the same.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone watching at home, my name is Stan, and today I am playing, I usually am about once every 2 weeks playing a Goliath Chef Warlock Man, and today this Goliath Chef Warlock Man is sponsored by General Grievous himself. That is correct. General Grievous is sponsoring me and the world of Orlea. I like to cook, I like to eat. Next question, next person.
Excellent. Next person on the line would be...
So my name is Matthew, and I am currently going to be playing a turtle cleric called Zuax. The K is silent. You'll figure out where it is eventually. And he's just a happy little man who's ready to fix this city. The hero this city needs, not the one it deserves.
Yes. Batman Turtle, Healer Doctor.
Healer Doctor.
Excellent. And then last on the ticket...
I am Kieran, and I am playing Lubnub, the Orc Barbarian. And I am here to break things that the Doctor might fix.
So, should we do a recap of last week? I feel like last week, obviously not last week, was 2 weeks ago, but last episode, since our wonderful Turtle Doctor was absent for the session, we could do a quick little recap. And then on that recap, I will essentially jump in narratively as you guys walk back into the room. Who would like to go? Kieran? Staniel? What are we going with?
What do you think? Shall
Rock,
Staniel
paper,
take
scissors,
over?
what's in first?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Here we go again.
For one, what's in first?
Right, what are we going on again?
We're going on shoot.
Canonically,
ready?
they're outside the room doing this right now.
Yes.
We are. We are. Ready?
Ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ah, Love
Oh.
Knob goes for.
So, shall I do the recap then? I'll do the recap then. Love Nub. So, last week we got
No, we want
into.
to hear it out the mouth of Love Knob.
Okay, on you go. Love Nub,
Love
absolutely.
Knob shall be
What's
completely
Love Nub's
truthful.
version of what happened last week?
Lubnub's version of what happened before he enters this room where his allies are dealing with some sort of coronation to do with some sort of king that's not really relevant to anything at the point,
Yeah.
is that we got sent out, me and this chef who I don't quite know why we have a chef, but we do. And we found some interesting things, like it is true that if you cook hard enough, anywhere's a kitchen. As we found in the second room, a kitchen. We also found some fresh fish, and we got introduced to this new type of food called sushi
Hmm.
that seems aggressively not fit for consumption, as you will bite down on it and the bones might kill you.
Yeah.
Scrumptious.
Stan almost got murdered by some sort of little acid thing.
Hmm. Very
There was a
aggressively
lot.
attacked by acid.
There was a
It's
lot
Cooper Beat.
of dead gnomes. Some of them hidden in the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out for gnomes.
Ed Gnomes.
There was some sort of nice picture on the wall, and I have to give Stan credit. He was right. It was a push, not a pull.
Mm-hmm.
Then some little annoying fucks decided that they were upset with that.
Mm.
They are now in chunks. There was a really bad room that had a mirror on the ceiling, and we're not going to talk about it.
I'm not gonna-
That's a bad room, and we're not
Mhm.
going to acknowledge its existence.
You are going to have to walk through this dungeon again to get out, so you can show your lovely doctor this room if you so prefer.
I refuse to acknowledge that room's existence going forward.
Only if the doctor walks in first, because we're not walking in there.
Well, Lubnub had been promised that there could be assassins and very likely undead. There is yet to be any assassins, but there has been at least 17 undead.
Mm.
That number has been reduced to 0
Guys, assassins.
Reduced to 0, right? That's good to know.
for the time being.
Likely
And,
reduced to 0.
You know, we've came out of some sort of cathedral thing, and there's this statue that some human god that apparently gave the king golden eyes, and it's all really not that interesting. The fighting was fucking good though. Would do again.
Yeah,
Spoken
essentially.
like a true barbarian.
So, as we went through last week, the dungeon that was scouting ahead so that people could safely navigate after the king's sort of impromptu coronation, given that he took over from his father all of 5 minutes ago, and a little bit of a rush to sort of crown the next king, try and make sure there's some stability. You guys are yet to surface properly. You're unsure of the impact that this rapid coronation is going to have. But what you do know is that the way ahead is currently clear. You know that there is a minimal amount of risk heading forward. So after about an hour, hour and a half walking through this dungeon, clearing the rooms one by one, checking everything out, finding a little bit of loot and a little bit of treasure on the way, you guys, as a treat, you guys head on back to your lovely companions, and that is where we will join. So, as we are sort of cinematography speaking, we're going with the camera is sort of zooming in down the tunnel through this cold, damp underground area, and almost alighting into this clearing in front of you. You can see that there is people all around. There is a mild air of panic around, and you can see that there is a group of people, mostly armoured, gathered, all lined up, apart from one person, who is the new king of the city of Greydrop. The new king being a 15-year-old boy. 15-year-old King Harold. And Zoak, you've just watched as this new king dealing with the death of his father surprisingly well, given the way that he is holding himself together. With your high level of insight and wisdom, you can tell he is young, inexperienced, not necessarily handling it well internally, but presenting a good front, keeping up with things, seemingly handling things better than you would expect someone of his age to handle these types of events. And just as the king is crowned, you turn around realizing that your companions are gone. It seems as if they have either wandered off or just fecked off entirely. And I think there's a small moment of what the fuck before Edward walks up to you. Doctor, I was wondering if we could borrow your services. Some of our men are injured. We were looking for some medical assistance. I've sent your two friends off to scout the route ahead, but it is quite necessary that we treat some of the wounded now. Our numbers are crucial.
This is definitely something that I can help with. I don't have any potions, but I do have some magic. So I'm gonna get straight to it. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on the little liege,
Yeah,
the little king, obviously, just making sure that he's going okay. Like currently,
Yeah.
right now, Zuax's whole entire thing is this boy doing well? This is a child who's just been
Yeah.
thrust into a kingdom. But I would like to use my medicine skill to help some of these
Yeah.
men.
As you're doing your medicine skill, make me a roll to see. I'll say with advantage, given that you've got like a quiet environment. You've not necessarily got great supplies, but you do have a quiet environment and a long time to examine these people. 11.
Oh, yeah, 11.
Yeah,
11.
like I say, you are almost no equipment on you. Like, you were not really ready to run off and start an adventure right here, right now. You're kind of just with the clothes on your back and the gear that you carry daily. You've got spell components, you've got your holy symbols, but you've not got anything particularly useful in this scenario. You're bandaging people up. I think more importantly,
Ripping
yeah,
t-shirts,
yeah.
creating like that sort of stuff,
I think
tourniquets.
more importantly, what you end up giving is giving Edward a list of supplies that you will need. He has runners going all over the city currently trying to salvage and get information on what's going on. So you give Edward a long list of supplies of like just basic things like potion ingredients for antiseptics.
I would also like to say I've sneakily added on to that list the supplies I need for my own doctor practice.
Oh, excellent! Yeah,
The one that my companions asked for at the
yeah,
beginning.
fantastic. At this point, there's no one really going to be able to question you. You're kind of the only doctor, and they don't really have a choice. So you fully just tack on the stuff that you need, and you know that that's going to get sorted within the next couple hours for you. You said you were keeping an eye on the king. You can see that he is sort of not necessarily sequestered from the rest of the people, but definitely people are on guard around him. You can see that his royal guard around him there is 9 armoured knights, all heavily armoured, and you actually recognise 2 of the armoured knights, the ones standing on either side of him, are Tommen and Edward. Tommen, his oldest brother, and Edward, the middle child. These are the 2 royal brothers that he had they been born with the glowing yellow-orange eyes, the golden glow of Intarak, then they would have took the throne. However, Harold is by far the youngest, but the one clearly blessed.
Could I roll an insight on his brothers, please?
Yeah,
Just to see
absolutely.
like how maybe they're taking the death of the king, or like
Yeah,
how they're taking the fact that their younger brother is the one that is now
yeah.
in charge, if you know what I mean.
I'll
Like
say
king.
because this is such an important, weighty thing that you would be doing, I'll let you roll them separately. So who would you like to roll for first? You've got
Uh,
Tommen. Tommen is the oldest, and then you've got Edward as the middle child, but he is the captain of the King's Guard. Edward is
I
the
would
most talented fighter.
definitely like to do Tommen first and then
Okay,
Edward second.
absolutely.
Oh,
Roll me an insight check.
oh, that didn't go so well.
A 6.
6.
Um, you're looking at a soldier. This is someone who is like battle ready. Like they're not necessarily even. You get the sense they're not processing death at this point. You've seen
Mhm.
battle. You've seen injuries. This is someone who's reacting on adrenaline, and you're not really getting a sense of honesty or dishonesty. You're just getting like battle ready.
Like he's got like a job
Yeah,
to finish and do.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. And then I would like to do the other one.
yeah. Edward.
Edward, 8. Oh,
Eight.
he's not rolling so 8 today. It's not rolling
Um,
so well today.
very similar on Edward. You can see that he seems to be very jumpy. Like Edward, I was saying the middle child. Like Tommen is 25, and Edward is 21, and then there's a 6 year age gap between Edward and then his 15-year-old youngest brother. So you're seeing
Harold.
someone who's 21 years old, head of the King's Guard, massively talented but not necessarily experienced.
And I would like to like finish applying like a tourniquet on someone who has like an
Yeah.
injured arm, and I would like to make my way over towards the Tom and Edward and Harold and these King's Guard, just kind of
Yeah.
like coming over, and I'm gonna be like, my liege, my lieges, this is definitely a dark day for all of you. Is there anything I can do as a doctor, or as I, I find myself as a little bit of a psychiatrist as well. So if you would like to speak, I could be an ear.
Edward pipes up. At the moment, I think your talents are best laid to the physical. Our numbers are low enough as it is. We have little information to go on. Edward is sending out. Edward says, referring to the other Edward,
Hmm.
that he is sending out scouts. We are short on people. So the less injured people can be, the better our situation will be. And you can see that as he's talking, he's sort of like side-eyeing Tommen to like sort of be like, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Like he's definitely someone who's looking at his brother almost constantly.
Yeah,
And
but
then
he's not too sure.
yeah, and then Harold in the middle is like, well, no, I believe we are fine. You're free to continue about your duties.
I will do, my liege. I apologize for taking some of your precious time. I
No,
understand
no
that.
apologies necessary.
Thank you. And Zuax is
Your
gonna go
your
back
name
to.
your name was what was what? Sorry,
It's so it's Zuax with a K, but the K silent, my liege.
Zuax. I will try to remember your loyalty in this time. Thank you.
Thank you, my liege. And I'm gonna go off and help his men.
And as you leave, just roll me a perception check, just to get your
Just straight
just a straight
perception.
perception. Yeah,
So, oh, much better. A 21
much
on that.
better. As you walk off, you just catch the edge of Edward leaning into Harold and saying, "He's the doctor that we sent for, the one to try and help discover the plot for Father."
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. So it looks like perhaps the eldest brothers maybe knew about something happening.
Yes, and you recall that you received a letter with a royal seal
Yeah.
inviting you to go in. So you get kind of a sense that maybe it was either Edward or Tommen that is at least knew something was happening, and maybe Harold is only kind of finding out about this tonight.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Around
Thank
that
you.
time, about an hour or so has passed of you just patching people up. Edward comes back with some basic supplies. You can add if you'd like. He's gonna immediately give you two medicine kits, um,
Perfect.
and a healing potion, a standard healing potion. Oh,
Perfect.
where has the map gone?
Map has died.
The map has died. Bear with me on the technical difficulty stream, guys. This is becoming
Welcome back.
too good of an in joke. Too good of an in joke.
Was
And
that
with
a
these
regular
technicalities,
healing
they're brought to you
potion,
by
or
our
Say again, Matt. Sorry.
was that a regular healing
Yeah,
potion?
a regular healing potion.
Backpack.
these technical difficulties are brought to you by our sponsor. Go ahead, Vinny.
Well, everyone at home, our sponsor is General Grievous today. I know, shocking turn of events. General Grievous is actually our sponsor today. Yeah, he gave up on the whole collecting lightsabers and instead likes collecting ad revenue now. So make sure to give him as much as possible.
General Grievous collecting ad revenue since whenever the hell General Grievous kept hit screens.
Well, it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. He's probably an old man by now.
Yeah.
Speaking of probably an old man by now, Lubnub, how do you enter after you're victorious? You know that there is a stone door leading you into the chamber with everyone in it. How do you enter as you won the rock, paper, scissors and the right to entry is yours?
So the door's closed right now, yeah?
The door is closed right now.
He kind of takes his maul in his good hand. And at first it looks like he's going to fucking smash it, as he has every other door we've came across in this dungeon.
Yes.
And then I give it 3 taps against the door and wait for someone to open it.
You do your 3 taps, and about 10 seconds later, you hear the rumbling of the door start to move. You see it shaking and trembling as dust falls, and you are shown into the other room. And you can see that it is Aelwyn this time, Edward's twin sister, who has opened the door. Aelwyn looks you up and down and just says, "My God, I take it you found some resistance then?"
A little bit.
Swarm of
It would be
fish,
nice if we were given some healing
Grey
potions before we
Thing,
left.
Ice Things, 17 undead. But no
And
assassins.
round about
And he
this
looks
time,
disappointed when he says no assassins.
superb. And round about this time, Zoak, you turn round, and would you like to describe the state of both of your characters as you waltz back into this room?
I think since I entered the room first,
Yeah.
Stan should get to describe his character first.
Very well, Stan. Seems fair.
That is. So, Stan is this, reasonably tall Goliath fellow, grey skin. He's walking in. His grey skin is now mostly a little bit slightly acidically burned away on a good chunk of his body, and he's got a few stab wounds. He's just walking in. Well, still with the spear of sushi. Like, hi guys. He's essentially like two-facing it as that half slip burnt it. Hi guys, how's it? Hi. Ow.
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 You poor thing! You got to sit down right now and let me have a look over you, and I'm gonna just make sure that he's not putting on an act, and that this is not just superficial damage.
No medicine check needed. What's your current HP total?
I was surprised it's 13.
Out of
24.
so
It's not bad.
he's
Not bad.
halfway.
He's injured.
He's halfway to death. And
He's
then you turn over and look at Lubnub. So would you like to describe yourself?
As Lubnub walks in, you definitely notice that he is limping. And it's not that he's trying to hide it. It more looks that he's annoyed at the fact he's limping and is trying to brute force his way to walk normal. He looks like some sort of shrapnel has hit him twice in a row. And I'm pretty sure one of his arms is dislocated.
Yeah, I think I remember that. And much closer to death's door.
Zuax is literally gonna almost push Stan out the way, get out of the road. Lubnub, what happened? Look, you might lose the leg. I'm not going to lie. I say that to most of my patients, but this time I mean it. Sit down. Sit down and let me have a look over. And I'm gonna try. And how much HP is he on?
Yeah.
You could save if my maximum was 33. I was sitting at 6.
Oh, yeah, that definitely sounds like I am going to be casting a Cure Wounds on Lubnub to try and at least get him a little bit more.
And you could also say it looks like he dropped twice in his last fight.
Jesus, oh, Lubnub, you definitely need to take more care of yourself, and I'm gonna start like working my way across his body, and you heal 8 points, 8 hit points. So
Oh,
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
double health basically.
I've got more health than Stan now.
So, oh, did you at least find a clear path for us to take?
I made a clear path for us to take.
Are there any injured people along the way that need help that you?
Well, the first guy we found was dead already. And the second. And the group of
Everyone
gnomes.
we found was technically dead.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Technically dead. What does that mean?
Skelebone men and fish.
Undead?
And Skelemore. Yeah,
the
some
f-
undead, some just dead.
Were the fish undead?
No, I'm just gonna hold up the skewer.
Yeah,
They're
you
here.
could see
They're
that
pretty good.
that Stan is holding a spear with like really decorative Elvish written down the side of it, and on top there is 4 fish skewered, not gutted, not like descaled, not deboned, not cooked in any way, with obvious bite marks on them, as if someone has been eating them like a kebab.
Oh, that looks
Sure.
wonderful. Do you mind if I have a little try?
Yeah, sure, if you want. But just mind your teeth that has some bones in it.
I've got a beak. I don't have teeth.
Actually
Mind
think
your
actually think
flesh.
biologically, as turtles can eat whole fish, I think technically you would be fine with this food. Whereas when it's
Nice.
stabbed, it would stab anyone who did not have a chitinous mouth. But yeah, no, you're fully armored, so yeah, I think you should just take a nibble of this fish. It tastes acidic and bitter. Not like it was a healthy fish.
Oh, there's definitely a unique taste to it, Stan. But oh, just as lovely as the cheese puffs.
I don't think so. The cheese puffs were my life's work. This was a brief experiment.
Cheese puffs were good
Mm.
though. We can work on the experiment. We can work on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are in the room. It looks as if people are settling down to spend the night here. It looks as if people are like not really setting up tents, but you can see that Edward, sorry, is bringing out like stacks of blankets that he's had people go and get. And you can see that the king is just like now lying down, sequestered, still with some of the knights standing. Some of them are now sitting with him. Some of them are sitting separate from him. It looks as if about 4 of them are on guard while the other 4 are relaxing. Yeah, it seems to be that people are camping here for the night, so to speak.
Okay, I would definitely be setting up a bedroll for myself.
Yeah,
Centrally located in the room. I don't want to be anywhere near any of the edges. I want to be like right in the center, kind of thing.
yeah,
Unless
absolutely.
that's where they put the king, in which I would not be there.
No, he's kind of off to one side in like a more defensible corner, so that there's only guards on one side, essentially.
Is there like any furniture in the room that I could set up in the center of it, like a little table or like stools or anything like
I'll
that?
say there's definitely like stools available.
Okay. So Zuax is gonna set up like a little his little sleeping area, and he's gonna set up a table, and he's gonna put 2 seats on either side, and he's gonna take out a set of dice and lay them on the table, and he's just gonna look from like guard to guard, and then at the dice as if to be like, "Do you want to have a go?"
Yeah, actually, you know what? There probably is a couple that would have a go. You see that there is. There is a dwarf that walks over. This is a big bearded, very stereotypical looking dwarf. He's in the regular armor of the City Watch, but his looks to be quite decorative, and you can see a large family sigil carved into one side of it, almost like a badge of honor. And you can see that he's also got a clip, like with a cloak, and you can see that that is also a family symbol. Roll me a history check to see if you recognise the symbol.
Definitely, I'll do that right now. History. A 4. No clue.
4. Yeah, no clue. You can see that this is the symbol of. It's essentially like it looks to be like a stack of bricks made of like a metallic substance.
Okay, man.
And as he walks over, he's like, "I'll have a go."
Oh, do you a fan of playing dice? Yeah.
Always, always a
Hmm.
fan. He holds out
Hmm.
his hand. Gamble Silverton.
Gamble Silverton. Zuax with a K, but the K silent.
Wonderful. You
Oh,
proficient?
this is.
You proficient in this particular game? I must admit, I like gambling for money.
I'm quite fond of playing Druid's dice and any variation of dice from there.
He takes out a gold coin and puts it on the table. Wager you can't win.
I would like to also do that with a gold coin, so I'm going to put that down. Oh well, I hope to God that my money's where my mouth is then.
Excellent. So roll me. We're just going to do a straight contested roll. Give me a minute. I will get my dice. Wonderful. So, what stat do you want to be choosing to roll for this? I'll say you can go for, like, reasonably speaking, probably either wisdom or intelligence, or charisma for, like, bluffing.
I would like to do wisdom. I would like to do wisdom.
My camera has decided to unfocus, so it's having a small rave. Give me a minute.
But you've sorted it now. You've
Yeah,
sorted it now.
it just needs the
Looking
light
much
to be
better.
turned on a little bit more. Excellent. Yeah, wisdom. Wonderful. DM is raving again. Yes. Raving mad.
Yo,
We have got a 12 on the wisdom check.
A 12. He rolls a 13 with a negative 1 to his wisdom. So that is a
Oh.
that is a draw. Shall we roll again?
I'm gonna look at him and be like that. Oh, it seems you're not as good at this as you thought.
Must be beginner luck on your part, son. Must be beginner's
Oh.
luck.
It might be. I'm gonna try and roll charisma this time. Oh, that went even worse. And a 6 plus 2.
On your charisma, he rolled a 16 total. So
Oh,
he is definitely, he's giving you that whole, like, the whole body language vibe of this guy is I have shit dice here. He's like giving the whole I'm pretending I have great dice vibe to him, so you're like, I've got him. He's got to tell. Oh shit, that wasn't a tell. Shit. He completely wins, and he is like, you watch him snatch up both gold coins and just chuckle to himself of the never gamble with a Silverton lad.
well, I've learned my lesson now, but it was definitely a fun experience and a good game.
A good game indeed. A good game indeed.
Zuax is gonna get himself ready to get tucked into bed.
Yeah, excellent. You guys have a fun night, and you settle down for a long rest. Is anyone else doing anything before they go down?
before I
if
go
I've got-
down, can I just... On you go.
No, on you go, mate.
Before I do anything, I'm gonna walk over. I'm just gonna see them gambling from a distance. After it's over, I'm just gonna walk over, chap on the table, and go, can I get my burn scars taken care of, please?
I really do actually apologize about that. I completely forgot about you. Lumnub was really injured actually, and
Oh,
because I
I saw the whole
know
thing.
he's not actually anywhere near as bad, I am just going to I am gonna cast guidance on him and trick him into thinking I'm healing him because he doesn't look like he actually needs it that bad. So
Give me a straight medicine check as well as you're casting guidance.
okay,
Can I see if this is any kind of what?
Well, we'll see how good the
Um,
medicine check is, because if he is
Yeah.
also just being kind of a decent doctor. Or 11, you're like, you've seen him cast magic on Lubnub, and for you, he's just like covering the wounds.
I mean, thanks for covering it. It wasn't healing magic, but I'm
no,
I'm
but
sure
like
it'll be I'm
it's
sure it'll be
going
a
to heal.
hearty meal in the morning.
Like an apple will help.
No, more like a freshly cooked morning meal.
Oh,
It's
we
just
could use the fish.
it's gonna sadly shuffle away as he is still feeling his flesh melting.
Excellent. You guys settle down for a long rest, and as you're going through the night, who would like to make me the first ever long rest roll of the campaign? So, as you guys are going to be
Ooh.
staying in a city, it is, however, a city under siege, so there is a non-zero chance, depending on how high you roll. You guys are looking for a low number. So,
I would
who
love to roll it.
who would like to roll a d20? Feel free, Lubnub.
So I was going to say, I think Lobnob has set himself up beside one of the entrances, and he's doing the like homeless thing where he's falling asleep, clutching his bag with one arm,
Yeah.
and he's got his maul ready in the other one. Just because it's funny, I think he's accidentally attuned to the Ring of Warmth, not realizing it's magic because he's been focusing on it for at least an
Yeah,
hour.
absolutely. I fully agree with that.
But for your D20, roll high, roll high, roll high. 13.
13. So, as you guys are sleeping through the night, fortunately nothing interesting happens. You guys wake up the next day successfully having had your long rest.
Aw.
Is anybody want to
Nice.
do anything before the sun rises, so to speak, though you are underground?
Make a meal.
Roll me just a general, it will be just a d20 plus your proficiency, because it's not really intelligence or charisma or wisdom or whatever for cooking.
Oh God, no! That's a 5.
Happening again.
Amazing. So
No.
you guys awaken to the smell of like burning putrid fish, like fish that was not refrigerated the night before, being cooked over a small fire, way too small for the fish. So he's moved it really close to the fire, and you can see that it's burning very small parts. This whole cavern immediately starts stinking of burnt fish scales.
Uh, um, um. Oh, Stan, what is that you're making?
I'm attempting to make breakfast, but I'm not kitchening enough.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That is the problem indeed.
Just need to kitchen harder.
I think that would have been much nicer with fresh fish, Stan.
We're underground. I can't just nip out for food. This is what we have.
Oh, that's so true. We are actually underground right now.
Mm.
Lubnub's still sitting by the door, covering his nose with one hand, and he's shoveling, I think, we're being honest, probably shoveling 2 sets of rations down his throat.
Yeah.
Zoax is gonna pick up his bedroll and start like flapping the flames to try and like help
Help cook.
alleviate
Yeah.
help cook it. And
Zoak knows what a lost cause is when it comes to these types of cookings. You can see that this is ruined meat, but it can still be nice to help out a friend and try his best. And as you are, as Lubnub, as you are like horsing down as much ration as you can fit in your mouth, Raph walks over and says to you, we are going to be surfacing today. There is word from above that they are looking for the heir. The Church of Intarach are coming forth to say that the king is dead and that the new king is lost.
Okay.
So, will you come with us?
I mean, you know I don't really have too much of a choice there, but you know that I'm going to say yes.
Excellent. Grab up all your stuff. Grab your two companions. We're going to make a small party of it as we walk up. The Royal Guard is coming. We're just here to add extra protection from the shadows, so to speak.
Here's hoping.
Here's hoping. And
I will,
he walks off.
gathering all my possessions by picking up my backpack and my maul.
Mm-hmm.
I'll walk over to my two companions and the disaster that's sitting in between them and kind of put my arms around both.
Oh, jeez.
Which is an
Oh,
awkward...
jeez.
It's an awkward situation to do because you've got the 4-foot turtle on one end and I believe it is a 7-foot Goliath on the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just crouched over, twiddling a spear, going, "Come on, cook."
So, are you guys ready to put on your best scary faces today?
Here,
I'm not very frightening. I'm not very frightening. I'm not going to lie, Lubnub. I don't do frightening.
Love Nub,
But-
if I'm a chef, I wouldn't sell if I looked frightening.
How about Lubnub, you stand on that side and Stan, you stand on that side, and then I go in the middle and it makes you two look bigger. I can do that.
It does that, yeah. Standing next to someone
it does
short
do
makes
that.
you two look giant.
It
Isn't
does
your-
do that.
Isn't your turtle a snapping turtle?
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like if you
Of course
bit
not.
someone, that would hurt.
Not
but-
again.
I think if anyone bit you, it'd hurt. So like,
Well,
you know, it's
you
like
raise a
a
good point.
vampire. A vampire
Flashback
gets
to last
snaked in a heart.
session with
It's
the
gonna kill
fish.
anybody.
Yeah, flashback to literally less than 12 hours ago when fish were biting into your flesh, trying to eat you whole.
It only did 4 points of damage. It didn't hurt.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
4 points of damage kills like an NPC, like regular,
Yeah.
regular person.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
I would have one-shot someone.
Yeah.
that would have one shot like a random like bread seller or something.
To be
So
fair, it sounds
Oh,
like it
no.
one-shot that hobgoblin we passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
what's the plan for today anyway?
I didn't really pay attention, but what I got was,
That's
and
what
I'll
I
point
was.
over to where,
That's what I was hoping for when I was like, I'll give the barbarian information.
and I'll
Oh,
point
okay.
over at Raph. We're gonna go with them. We're gonna look tough.
Mhm.
And if anyone tries to kill that guy, and I point at the small king, we're gonna kill them first.
Is
Maybe
it-
don't point at the king and say kill them first. Tip to the wise.
I didn't say we're gonna kill him. If anyone tries to kill him, we're gonna kill them first.
Right. Okay. I have we got a way of getting through the city unseen or
I don't know.
We're in the sewers, you goober.
yeah, but I feel like we have to surface at some point.
We're gonna surface and we're gonna look tough as fuck.
I don't know if this is a great plan, but I'll go along with it anyway.
Look here, take this shield that I took off a dead guy.
Oh no, thank you. I don't need one.
As you're looking over, you can see that the king is getting ready. You can see that he's putting on armor. It looks like you know how when you would get like armor that is purely decorative, so it's like mirror polished, shiny, bright armor. Like clearly never been scratched, never been dented. Slightly too big for him. Doesn't look comfortable to be wearing. And then the two brothers and the rest of the guard are also fully suited back up. They took turns resting, and it looks as if they're all 8 of them plus the king ready to move in force. And then aside from that, you can see that there are a couple other city guards. You can see that there are some well-dressed noblemen also making their way. There's about like 19-20 noblemen noblemen and noble ladies, and you can see that there's also, aside from the 8 Kingsguard and the king, about 10 actual members of the guard, and then about 10 members, including Edward and Elwyn and Wrath, of the Thieves Guild, the Hands of the Valley here. So all in all, there's a good number of people here to be doing a real good show of force, but the vast majority of people are just well-dressed nobles who have just spent a night in the sewer. So they're not looking that great. They're not
Yeah.
looking that intimidating.
So, I was going to ask, do any of them look like they're from the Greylight Hunt?
You actually can see that there's only one member of the Greylight Hunt here, and it's a man that you don't recognise. But he is wearing the standard grey. They call them greys, and that they are just literally grey t-shirt, grey trousers, grey boots with a grey sword, grey hilted sword. Sort of very like Night's Watch Blacks type thing, but like inner city wear.
So, still my hand kind of on both their shoulders, being very physically awkward, but not acknowledging it. I'll then point at the guy who I know is from the Greylight Hunt. Him, we can count on him. The golden ones are a bunch of pansies. Ignore them.
Okay.
And
That's
as he
roughly
points,
about it.
as he points to the member of the Greylight Hunt, you all recognise someone who is part of the Greylight. There is a district in the city named after their order. They are a very prestigious fighting force. They are very much this city's version of like sort of Night's Watch vibes, but actually really competent and valued. They're at the edge of the city, closest to the walls where the monsters attack, and their daily job is to basically go through the woods harvesting monster parts. But they usually do it like teams of 2 will go out and just like there's a manticore nearby and 2 guys will wander into the woods with just swords and they'll come back with a dead manticore.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to kind of gesture with for Lubnub and Stan to follow Zuax, and he's going to head over towards Edward, the leader of the Kingsguard, the middle brother. Excuse me, Edward. I know we're getting ready to move out, but I think that do we have a plan? It seems rather foolish to move in force in a city under siege, where there's assassins out looking for your younger brother.
I understand. There is reports from Edward of the Hands of the Valley are reporting that. Hello, buddy. The Hands of the
Getting a
Valley
report
are
right now.
reporting that the Church of Antara is taking over. And you can roll me a history check. I'll actually say history or religion. I'll give you some information for free, but based on your check, we'll see how far we go. Excellent.
Well, there we go.
So your free information is that Antarak is a human goddess. You're very familiar with her worship. She is the goddess of light. She is the daughter of the sun god, Surtur, which is spelled Surtur. She's his direct daughter, and it is Surtur that has blessed the king with his eyes. So the Church of Antara is a very powerful force within the city. Legend has it that in lieu of ruling most things himself, as the sun is such an important domain, they don't really like go about like dealing with people in person, Surtur. So he sends his daughter typically to deal with matters of actual mortal concern. So you don't see very many paladins or like clerics of Surtur. But the Church of Antarak has a ton of power behind it. You can imagine the idea of light being quite a huge human pantheon. On top of that, based on your excellent roll of 21, you know that the Church of Antarak for a long time has had a lot of political pull in this city and has had a lot of disagreements with the previous king.
Okay, so
There has been a lot of push recently to become sort of much more religious in the city and start sort of mandating the worship of Antarak. And the previous king was very much a stand back of like, this is a democratic society. Although I am not elected, they should be free to do what they want when they're here.
okay. Edward, my liege, I understand how that can't be allowed to happen. But again, someone is looking to kill your brother, for lack of a better term. Kill the young
I
highness.
understand. We are
I,
planning
I,
on. Continue. Sorry.
I do have an idea,
Very well.
and it's a rather bold one, but I believe myself, Stan, Lubnub, and a select few should go with your brother in two different groups. One group is the distraction, where they will think your brother is, and the other group will be us, and we will take the young king. And we'll be able to move around the city a lot easier if there's less of us. We bring the best fighters with us, and the other group goes out. Uh, I think that's a much better option than us all sticking together.
Make me a persuasion check.
+4 on that. 15.
15. You can see that he's genuinely considering it. As he's looking through, you can see that Tommen wanders over and sort of overhears this. Tommen speaks up for the first time. It's not a bad plan, Ed. It might be worth considering. We could split up, me, you, a smaller group, maybe 10 folk, and send the rest off to the church while we go back to the throne room. It might be worth crowning him more officially in the the throne room, away from the church.
That way the church can't interfere, and if they're involved, then it keeps the young king safe.
As you're talking, Harold walks up. What are we all talking about, gang?
My liege, we're talking about your safety right now. You should be involved in this.
Oh,
I have proposed a plan to split into two groups. One smaller group will be coming with you, my lord, and a larger one will be a distraction for the church. I think
that
it is
sounds
best.
acceptable. And we will be going to the church.
We will be going to the throne room, my liege.
But the church has asked to see me. No? And
Right now,
he looks round, and Edward produces a letter, which is sorry, I should clarify. The Hands of the Valley walk up, and Edward from the Hands of the Valley produces a letter. I should have named my NPCs better. Yes, so Edward passes a letter to you, and you can read that it is a scout report saying that the Church of Antara has pronounced the king missing and is attempting to rule in his stead.
I
Yes, so
yes, my
they're looking for me until I arrive. Shall we not just announce myself, and I will ascend under the bright light of Antarak, and he sort of puts his hands together and looks up to the sky where the sky would be.
my liege, if that is what you want, that is what we will do. But it is not a smart decision to put you out in the open like that. Not after the death of your father.
He sort
You
of
are.
he looks around. Make me another persuasion check.
Oh God, this is not going to go well on this one, isn't it? 10 on
10.
that one, not as great.
As he's looking around, make me an insight check as well on that roll.
Okay. Insight.
I'm gonna let this insight check go off, but then unfortunately I feel like Lubnub would say something.
20.
20. So as Lubnub walks up, so we're definitely going to hear whatever Lubnub is doing. You look at the king, and you see someone deeply in love with the Church of Antarak. You see someone who is born and raised in this city, and who has had a very busy family, and politically speaking is quite naive, but definitely has a deep love for the church.
Okay.
Lubna.
I mean, from that letter, pretty much sounds like this is the church trying to kill you. But that's just me.
As you say, the church is trying to kill you. Harold looks horrified. No. I refuse to believe that Antaric's light would be used for anything other than the glory of humanity. No offense to anything else, but I mean, she is the light that guides our civilization. There's no way they would be involved in this.
My liege, men bend light very easily. It just takes one poison apple to ruin your cider or your apple pie. It doesn't have to be the whole church, but someone is after you.
This is ridiculous. We can clear this up today.
Once, my
I
liege,
mean,
we
if
can
you want to
clear
go to
this
the
up.
church, when they try to kill you, I will do their skulls in. But, like, you know.
There will be no violence. And as you're looking with your better persuasion check on Edward, his older brother, you can see that Ed looks to the two of you and says, "Can we have a private word with the king?"
Of course, Edward, we will get our stuff ready. Whatever you decide, we will follow.
As you walk off, you can see that Edward and Tommen pull him aside, even from the other Kingsguard and from the other royals, the royal guard, I should say. And you can see that they are having an animated but silent conversation between each other. Does anyone try and listen in prior to me concluding it?
Oh, no, I definitely turn to the other two and I'm like, so yeah, the church is definitely trying to kill him, yeah?
Oh, 110% the church has tried to kill him. There is no... This is just how it's happening. You know,
I mean, we can't be sure, but it is probably them.
I have never met a church that I liked. Never met a church that I liked.
Aren't you religious?
I've had a few cookouts at them.
But I worship the one below, the soul below. It is not a church. I worship
who's
the
that?
ground we stand on.
Ooh,
You worship the ground.
hmm
good.
And he's deadpan about it. He's just like, yes, like this makes sense. Like, of course I do.
Are you a,
Like,
Do you
like
not?
your god is the ground.
Do you not worship the ground that you stand upon? It gives you life. It gives you everything. Anyway, that's not important. What is important right now is the church is trying to kill the king.
Yeah, but that's important later when I get to kill them. So, like, that's
I
not a now problem. That's a, like,
will
5
keep
minutes
that in
from now
mind,
problem.
Lobnob, but we'll try not to kill anyone. And
Uh,
I'm going to
You
eavesdrop
will
in
try
on
not kill
conversation.
anyone.
I'm going to try and
You are
eavesdrop
going
in
to
the
try and eavesdrop.
conversation.
Excellent. Make me a perception check.
Correction, you're going to
While
try
we're
not kill
just like,
anyone.
oh, that's so horrendous. I'm not rolling well tonight.
Can
Luckily
I
for
try and
you,
drop from the other?
like no one is really paying any attention to anyone like looking in on anything. And around a minute of animated conversation, you hear Harold kind of exasperated, actually drop the entire demeanor of "I don't want this heard, we're not having a private conversation anymore" sort of thing. And he just shouts, "This is ridiculous. I can't believe this is even being suggested. We'll do your plan. We'll go to the bloody throne room, and then immediately afterwards I'm walking to the church, with or without you."
I am going to shuffle my way over as soon as I hear we're going to go with your plan. I'm going to... Perfect. Thank you for seeing reason, my liege. I knew you were smarter.
You can see Edward and Tommen are looking very overworked almost immediately.
Like the spoiled little brother is like about to throw a tantrum.
Kind of. That's kind of the vibe you're getting.
Definitely lean over to Stan. I guess we're not storming the church yet.
Still
That
might
was-
if they attack.
So yeah, I'm gonna get my bags ready now that we know that the plan is to separate, and I would like to go over to the what is it called? The special guy that can fight really well,
The member of the Grey Light.
the member of the Grey Light. I would like
Yeah.
to go over to him.
You walk over and he is standing fairly stoically, just absorb. What's the word? Observing the sort of congregation in front of you. You see that he has hand on sword, casual stance, but ready to be drawing weapons anytime.
Excuse me, sir. I know you don't know me, but my name is Zuax. I am
I
the
have heard of you.
current.
I have heard of your
Yeah.
order. You are part of the city's doctors. You're doing charity work near the Grey District, are you not?
Yes, yes. I think I've healed some members of your
Yes.
organization in my
We
time.
make it our business to know anyone giving free healing.
And you will always be welcome.
I am glad
But
to
I
hear that.
have a proposition for you. We are splitting into two groups, and I would like to ask if you would like to join ours.
I am paid exclusively by the crown, so I will be following his liege.
You will be protecting his liege with us, yes.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that that was something that was going to happen.
Absolutely. No, that is not a problem. So long as my checks continue to come from the liege, so long as my coin keeps flowing, the king shall not die.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Pardon, what was your name?
Dorian.
Dorian.
And
No problem.
you would be familiar that everyone who is from the Grey Light Hunt, if they are a qualified member, meaning they're wearing their full grey outfit, their surname becomes Grey Light or Grey.
Okay. So he would be Dorian Greylight.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Right. I'm ready to head if everybody else is. If anyone else has anything to do.
You watch just before you head out. A very scrawny, spindly gentleman comes up to the three of you as you're all getting ready to leave, and holds out his hand. This guy is like very scrawny, maybe 5.5, 6 foot, humanoid, slight pointed ears as if maybe there was elvish lineage at some point in his backstory, but not, or rather his lineage, but not fresh elvish blood. And you can see that he is like pointed goatee, very thin pencil mustache, slicked back but very like what's the word, thinning hairstyle. And he walks up and says, I understand that you guys are leaving us to fend for ourselves. All the fighters are leaving the nobility.
No. All the fighters are not leaving the nobility.
I spoke
No.
to Edward, and we are getting just the city guard to accompany us. And he says this is your plan.
Are you saying the city guard are not capable of protecting its citizens?
Are you saying that the city guard are so capable of protecting their citizens but incapable of protecting their king?
I'm gonna look up and be like, touche, sir. Touche.
Sir, you look like the most stereotypical villain, but I will say, all of the guards
I
are
was
wearing
thinking that.
silver armor. Bright silver, shines in the sun. None of us are wearing that, and we're probably going to put something over his liege so that he doesn't sparkle like a diamond. It'll just be like normal people going on a walk with a family.
Oh, I see. Normal people going on a walk with their family, heavily guarded and skilled, while we, the loyal to the crown, are left to fend for ourselves. I see that you are a strategic man.
You
Are
could
you
always
not a
stay in the
Are you
sewers.
gonna keep crying, or are you gonna fuck off?
Did you accept this
Oh,
He
job?
looks genuinely appalled. My good sir, do you have any idea who I am?
No, and I don't fucking care.
There
You
is
gonna keep
no
crying, or are
way.
you gonna fuck off?
This is no way to speak to me.
I'm not going to
How,
lie.
he's smaller than me, right?
Easily. He's, like I say, he's like 5'6" and built like a stick.
I would like to grab his shirt and bring him up to my level. Is this better?
I
Now we're
I
talking eye to eye.
I can see you perfectly fine, child.
Well,
He
now
will
I
hurt
can
you.
see you. Now are you going to shut up,
As
or am
you
I going to shut you up?
as you grab this person, you see every single guard, not the royal protectors, but the 10 members of the guard that have been told to protect this group, all draw weapons immediately, and the sight of bare steel gives a panic to the room. As he sort of sneers at you, I suggest you put me down. You know, people fight hard for their money, and I'm the money.
You know what else is hard?
Oh God.
Me
Oh, God,
smashing
he's
you off the first three that even tried to
horrified.
kill me.
Sorry, that just absolutely got me. Um,
And at that point, could I thaumaturgy my eyes to just be
yeah, sure.
threatening as fuck?
And also, I think at this point, give me an intimidation check with advantage because this scrawny guy is being physically threatened.
The scrawny guy's testing my patience. There's people to go kill. That would be a 15.
A 15. He's visibly trembling, but he's still trying to sneer at you. Like he's not pissing himself running away, but he's physically trembling. You can see that his body has gone into fight or flight. He's terrified, and as you're saying this, the guard. Oh, continue.
Could I use thaumaturgy to make a little patch of his trousers look like it's gotten slightly darker?
Absolutely. No roll
Could
necessary. There is no save for thaumaturgy.
could I try and be like really discreet about it? Be like, sir, I think you may have you may need to clean yourself. You seem to have soiled yourself.
As you're leaning forward, he goes, I would never, guards, arrest this man. And
Lub, put him down.
you see all 10 guards step forward, and one steps forward. The dwarf that you were gambling with last night, Gamel, reaches forward with his axe drawn. He's the only one with an axe. Release Sir Stoneheart now.
Lubnub, do you think you could take them?
We didn't have a job, sure. And I'm very not gently going to release him, which is probably like a what? He's 5'6", you said?
Yeah, so he's gonna drop a foot.
So he falls the 6 foot thing.
Yeah. He drops almost a foot, and he lands hard and stumbles. But the dwarf catches him, and the dwarf speaks up. Lord Stoneheart, I see no reason to push this any further. These are clearly loyal members of the royal family's protected few. We should not be causing more arguments during this time, don't you think? And you see Stoneheart looks around at you three, clearly bristling, and goes, I suppose you're correct. I suppose I shall be graceful enough to drop this. Just this once.
I think you should be graceful enough to change your trousers as well. And we're gonna like head in the opposite direction.
You leave,
Like, we're just gonna
you
be like-
leave this man bristling with anger.
Just one comment before I go turn and go. And Stoneheart, you seem a bit skinny. You need some good food, better nutrition diet. You need to hit the gym, my guy. Natural upkeep. Just gonna leave.
And make me a history check, Lubnub. With disadvantage, I will say.
Lubnub's history.
Because it's
I
Lubnub.
could beat him.
With disadvantage, that is a 3.
A 3. Something about that name Stoneheart just rings a bell, and you're like, I don't know why I remember that, but I've met a Stoneheart somewhere before.
I've probably beat him up before. It's always good to have repeat customers.
It seems
Anyway, I'm
right.
sure Edward will pull me up for it later. Because I assume Edward and Raph are just looking at me from across the room.
You can see that Wrath is like grinning visibly as he watches you guys leave, and you can see that Edward and Aylwin are visibly pale at watching this. You can see two people who basically just seen their lives flash before their eyes. As you walk over, Edward and Aylwin, literally Aylwin, like, grabs you three, like, protectively, not aggressively, and, like, squirrels you away and goes, do you have any idea who you've just picked a fight with?
I'm rather short, and I think I could beat him. So
It's
no.
not about whether you can beat him. He's
Yeah,
the
that was
Minister of
so
Bloody
hard.
Finance.
I don't know
The
what any of
Minister of
those words you
Finance.
mean.
He's the guy
Realistically,
that
we're
handled.
all
Oh god, I don't even know why I'm bloody talking to this one about money. And she
So
turns away from Lubnub and turns specifically to you two. He's the fucking flow of all money in and out of the city.
So, from what I'm hearing, he's the man that does not supply me with medical equipment to heal the citizens of this city. He got what he deserved.
She sort of considers for a minute. Well, yes, actually, charity work since he took charge has plummeted.
I do
Realistically, we're
I
in
do believe the
underground.
man needs to be brought down a step. I apologise, Stan.
Quite all right. You were not out of line. Realistically, I'm gonna lean in and whisper this one. We're in an underground room with a select few of his guards. I'm not entirely sure if they can defend themselves.
I'm sure they could.
Aylwin speaks up. Uh, Under no circumstances are we killing the Minister of Finance on this mission. We've
I'm
lost
not saying
enough
we
of the
are.
royal infrastructure that we don't need this city losing the Minister of Finance the day a 15-year-old takes the throne.
I'm
I'm-
just saying he needs to know he's not immortal.
What do you want to do
Anyway.
next? Kill off Silverton, his right hand?
I'm not
Alright.
saying eat the rich, but like
But
Maybe.
maybe we'd get some rich if we did.
Mm.
You know, you are what you eat, and I am a very good advocate for a balanced diet.
Lubnub just got to take a deep breath and then sigh. I apologise, Elwyn, for whatever I have done wrong. I will attempt to try and do slightly better in the future.
You know,
Which
it
is
is.
probably a sentence she's heard lots.
She turns to you and says, you know, it is nice hearing those words, but it would be nicer if I could just live by them without me hearing them.
But it was nicer the first time, not the 80 seconds.
Yes, precisely, Stan. On that note, anyone have any idea where Nilthyra went?
Is that again?
The shiny female, the heavily armoured wizard.
You're a
I
female?
believe she had some form of show that she may have been taking place in.
As you're talking, Edward pipes up and goes, she came highly recommended. I assume she's off doing something incredibly important. You know, you should never question the comings and goings of these travelling wizards.
Like really cool assassin stuff.
Yes, I would imagine she's off doing something incredibly important. She will come
Yeah.
back when the time is correct.
Yeah.
Oh, you may forgive me. Me and Stan found something that looked like it would be worth money, and I'm saying that to the sister.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, you
we pulled it out the wall.
runes? And
No,
in the runes, you found something valuable.
Yeah,
Think
you
so.
found an art piece.
Oh, well,
It's very heavy, so it might need me and Raph to move
Or
it. But I assume
we
that's
got
going
it.
to be a later date situation.
well, we're
But we
passing.
can show you on the way past.
We're passing through there. The citadel and the church are close by each other, so we will happily take a detour, a slight detour to do this.
Anyone with a good insight knows that Lubnub has meant every single word he's said so far.
Yeah.
From the threatening to beat the rich guy off of 3 nights before remotely being close to death,
Mhm.
to the apology were all genuine.
So, as you guys are prepared to be head off, the two parties are as follows. All the members of Royal Society, everyone in regular clothing, plus all the 10 members of the actual city guard are going in one party. And then the other one is you, the 8 members of the Royal Guard, the King, Edward and Aylwin, and you can see that the Hands of the Valley are all going off separately in a third. They're not accompanying the High Society. They're just going off to their various dens and thieves areas. And the only member that is floating apart from that is Dorian of the Grey Light.
I will say
he
to the
seems to
Hands
be
of the
following
Valley.
the King.
I will say to the Hands of the Valley. I assume you want us to go with the King, yeah.
Raph comes up to you. Yeah, no, we're going with the King. And anyone, anytime there's any threat to violence at the moment, we are being. And you see him stop. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we're going with the King. For
But why'd you stop?
for no particular reason, we're going with the King.
Do we expect violence?
No. Roll
Can
me
I
an insight,
check him?
yeah.
I'm rolling
like,
an insight on that.
That
Yeah.
seems
Yeah,
sketch.
that's
Oh,
a,
I believe him
that's a-
wholeheartedly.
that's
I
a
believe him.
bad
There is no violence.
6.
That's a dirty 20.
You two are looking at him going, yeah, no, totally fine. And then Stan, you're looking at him and he stopped mid-sentence as he was about to explain why they are following the King. You get the sense that there is either, on a dirty 20, it's a tough slip-up to catch, but you get the sense that it's either that he is being blackmailed to do this, that there is some information that is known of the Hands of the Valley, and they're being basically coerced into helping the King, or there's some arrangement with the royal family to keep this thieves guild around. You get the sense that there's like an unspoken and we're not allowed to talk about it, but we work for these guys for this reason. But you do believe that he's not expecting violence.
Oh,
Sorry, Lobnob, there is probably going to be no violence.
Yeah, I completely believe there is going to be no violence at all. This is going to be nice.
I want to clarify. I'm not saying there will be no violence. I'm saying I don't expect any violence. You can
No, I don't
hope.
believe that.
You can hope for violence.
You hear that, Lobnob? You can dream.
So, as you guys set off, you guys send all the royals and all of the noble family, or not the royals, sorry, all of the noble families off one way down the corridor, and you guys head the other way. Straight into
na-na-na.
new map zone unlocked.
No map zone. This seems awfully familiar.
It should do.
Wait a minute. There's the part where I almost died. Twice.
And there's the part where I almost died. And there, and there. Hey guys.
So you guys head on into this area along with everyone else. I just kind of wanted to show Zoax the map, and if anyone would like to do anything while we're down here, feel free, but if not, we're just kind of passing through it. I just thought it would be fun to show Matt the thing he missed last time.
I think I do want to do something while we're down here. Tactical nuke. Here we go.
Yes. Tactical nukes.
Sorry,
Nukes in the
Steve.
chat. Nukes in the chats, guys. That's
Come on,
gonna be
Monjaro.
that's gonna be
Monjaro.
World of Orlea's very first emote. Nukes in the chats, guys.
Nuke. As
Well,
it should be.
we move into room 2 where we pass over a devastated chest
Yeah.
and some sort of grey slime.
Zoax, as you're wandering into this room, you can see that it is sparsely decorated, apart from 2 pedestals surrounding a chest with a room.
Oh, no, that's room 5.
What? Oh yeah, no, sorry, you're
That was
right.
room 5.
Yes,
Room 2 was the
Nice.
one with the
room 2
the
is
empty chest.
just the empty chest that was filled with ooze. Yep, you could just see ooze.
It's quite slimy in here.
As you touch it, you
There's
also
probably
a
actually
little block.
recognise that this is acidic, probably acidic enough to burn a face.
Mm,
If you
mm.
look
Yeah,
at
I wouldn't
Stan, you
touch
would
that.
recognise it
I wouldn't
is.
touch I wouldn't touch that.
Does anyone have a clear bottle that they're not using?
I
Um,
actually don't
uh,
think anybody would have any
uh,
kind of bottles. You probably all got water skins.
I feel like the water skin is not going to be enough to hold anything
Yeah.
acidic.
Probably not.
Room
have a hammer.
5 is the one.
And yes, you're correct. Room 5 is the one where Happy Days, you show the artwork
Yay.
to Elwyn, I'm guessing.
Uh-huh.
She looks over and she's like, oh, well, you know, this actually might go for a pretty penny. We've admired this. And as she looks up, she goes, wait, there was a compartment behind here?
Well, yeah, but I assume you
Maybe.
can't sell the compartment.
There looks to
Yeah,
be
rent it.
there looks to be 2 pedestals in there. Did you find anything?
No.
The ring that's very obviously on display.
You point to the ring that's
No.
very obviously on display and you say no. Make me a deception check, Staniel.
I did not find a thing. 10.
10. Well, I suppose at least we know that we can take a fair amount off the top of everybody's pay for you buying that ring off of us, since this is of course our property. That sounds fair, Lubnub, no?
I'd like to point out I was not involved in this situation at all, and I would not like my pay docked.
Well,
was healing
you're
men.
all a party, no? One
Yes,
team
but I
for
was-
all.
Technically.
One team for all, except for when they're stealing objects.
Oh,
I'm not a thief.
one team of all. Does that mean we get whatever that painting sells for?
It does, yes. That's what finder's fees are.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
You were surprised to even know that there was a compartment back there.
Yes.
This isn't yours. This belonged to the temple.
So does that mean that that room is ours?
She sort of pauses for a bit. No.
I'd like to own property.
Don't you kind of already own your own house? Don't all turtles by nature own their own house?
Yeah, but I can't put decorations up, can I?
I don't know.
There has to be some kind of racist.
Surely you can decorate.
I think we should. I think
At
we should
least
get a
the
room for that.
exterior.
I think we should definitely have a contact with HR once this adventure is over and done with, because that did
We're
seem
gonna
rather
sue for
racist.
that room.
You're looking at HR right here, baby.
I would like
Right.
to not have my pay deducted, but
HR, fire yourself.
HR, fire yourself. And then
Eh.
as... Oh, on you go.
no. I'm
You,
good.
you can see that there is also evidence of 2 explosions having happened in this room, and you have flashbacks to the shrapnel you dug out of Lubnob earlier.
I guess this is where this happened. What caused these explosions?
Some sort of ice creature
Oh,
that wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Walking solid sorbet men.
Wait, those statues were living?
That's a finder's fee on that one that we'll take.
They
There's
were
no
living.
finder's fee on destroying 2 decorations.
Safety audit came. You're gonna need to pay us a fee. We made it safer. We're also
Oh, I
construction.
understand. You're part of the city's safety audit department, so naturally you have the certificate and the licensing for committing safety audits. So as soon as we see the licensing, we're happy enough to pay that.
You know what? Gladly.
Do you
I don't have it
show...
with me, but I will have it.
Unfortunately, not having it with you does come with a hefty fine. We are happy to expedite you getting a renewal on
Stan,
your...
maybe stop speaking because we're gonna lose more money now.
Objection, hearsay.
As
I didn't know
as,
you.
as you walk off, Raph pulls you aside, Lubnub. If you don't stop your friends from talking, she is going to try and rob them blind of everything they have.
It's working.
She's very good at that.
She is exceptionally good at that. You know, part of her legend around how she gained so much power is that she's one of few people to make a deal with the devil where the devil was sad. And he walks off.
That makes sense. I'm gonna walk up and I'll kind of nudge Stan.
Hmm.
Do yourself a favor.
Hmm.
Don't talk to Elwyn.
Oh, but I even know one of the secrets. Just gonna fold his arms and go, fine then, but at the very least, you're paying for my medicals. He's just gonna walk away.
Yes, by extension, the doctor next to you is under our salary, and you are free to inquire about any of his services.
I don't actually take money for my
Doctor,
services.
Well then,
doctor,
excellent.
doctor, you fumbled.
Pardon? I just like helping people.
As you progress on
Yeah, but you
through,
can help yourself. Thank goodness.
as you progress on through, just a quick question: does anyone lead anyone through room 8?
I see.
It
Lubnub
looks like
doesn't.
As
It
they were
looks like-
probably gonna pass by and just go, I wouldn't recommend going in there. You can if you want to, it's just mildly uncomfortable.
oh, what's inside the room?
Elwyn and Edward both sort of snicker. It's an interesting out-of-body experience.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it really gives you a whole new look of life.
Some could say it really changes your perspective on how you see things.
Is is the young king anywhere nearby?
He's following behind you guys about 15, 20 feet, kind of at all times.
Harold, would you like to come into this room with me? A small detour.
Perhaps. What's going on?
It supposedly changes the perspective on life. I think that would be a rather fun little thing for us both.
Edward and Tommen both step forward. We are on a tight schedule, but I suppose if it's enlightening, and they both look to Edward and Elwyn, and even with just your passive perception, both of them are just like, don't
Don't
like
let him in.
both of
No,
them are
not-
immediately
not
like,
again.
not at all, not at all, no.
I think the young king would love the experience, though.
They both look at the king and they're like, you wanted to get to the church before midday, no? We should coordinate you as soon as possible. And he's like, yes, by Antara's light we shall be guided. We shall be guided forward.
It's
Okay.
alright,
I'll
we'll
put a
come
hand
back here.
on Zoax's shell. You like who you are right now, yeah?
hmm
If you wouldn't change yourself, don't go in that room.
I think that's more of a challenge, actually, and I'd like to go into the room because I'm like, no, you can't tell me not to go into this room.
No,
As
now
you,
there is a very thing. You need to roll penis
The thing is, I
size
didn't tell
for
you
No,
not to
hold-
go into the room. I
hold-
just said if you wouldn't change yourself, then don't go into that room.
so
It wasn't a challenge.
you do enter the room. That's correct.
Mhm.
As you enter into the room, you can see that there is a rather sparsely decorated room before you, and as you look up to the ceiling, as you're sort of just looking around, getting your bearings, you see that on the ceiling there's a really beautifully painted sort of what's the word, like a ceiling art, just
Mural?
fully painted mural of like a gorgeous valley with a river going through it. You can see trees, you can see nature. And looking up at your sort of directly above where you are, you can see that there is a gnome, short, just regular, pale skin, sort of eyes a dark greenish color, hair a dark greenish color. and it seems to be mirroring your every move.
Hello, sir. Is this your room?
As you say hello, sir, you can see that his mouth moves at the same sort of pace as you, and you watch as he transforms into a turtle.
Oh, this is quite enjoyable. Were you always a gnome, or were you always a turtle? Or are you something else entirely?
You see, looking down at yourself, or looking down at you, you see a representation of yourself. Very, very similar looking to yourself. You would say almost to an incredibly fine detail, to the point where you start like moving your hands about to look up at to see the changes in it. And as you move your hands, you catch sight of your white pale skin. And you look around, realizing you are about 3 foot shorter.
1 foot tall.
Yeah, gnomes are tiny.
Oh.
You look down to discover that you have become a gnome.
Is this permanent? Is this permanent?
As you're looking around confused, the turtle above you is mirroring your every action.
Right, I want to look around this room. Is there anything that can allude me to what this is?
Make me an investigation check.
Because like this seems sketch. What the hell is that thing? Investigation.
Funny when a player who actually thinks about things ends up in
Yeah, I
the
was
chat
gonna
room.
say,
Hey,
we
I
should have
rolled a
done that.
4, so it's not that great, to be honest.
With your investigation, you can see that there is essentially like there's walls, 4 walls, straight normal ceiling, all just decorated in plain stonework. You can see a little bit of evidence of like like scratches in the wall, almost as if people have tried to climb it before. Other than that, you're not really seeing much.
I would
And
also like to ask,
as you wander around the room, you can see that the turtle above is walking around, mirroring your every action.
okay, is there anything up in the ceiling that could that I could kind of hide this thing behind if I went behind it? Is there a way that I could cut a block sight from whatever that thing is up in the ceiling?
Yeah, so as you're sort of wandering around, you see that it does perfectly cover the room, but the doors are not locked on the room.
Okay, I'd like to head out of the room then, as I can't really find anything.
Do you head out back to your party or back to somewhere private?
Back to my party, I guess.
You guys all watch as Zoax walks out a gnome, as you were all expecting.
And I would like to point out Zuax does not wear any clothing
No.
in his turtle form, so he's just
a
he's just in the
naked
nude.
gnome.
Just a naked gnome. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm very confused by that room. I wish someone would have came in with me. And I'm just gonna walk down the corridor and naked fuck.
Do you
Do
guys
you not
allow?
wish to become your true self again?
I don't know how. I looked around the room. There doesn't seem to be anything in it.
I do not wish to understand, but if you want to help him,
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'm just gonna reach out
Me and
awkwardly
Stan
and
are
just
gonna
be like,
go in.
just gonna like grab him, go to walk into the room, close my eyes, and just throw him directly up.
Make me a strength check.
17.
Do you protest in any way as you feel Stan's gigantic hands wrap around your shoulders and head?
I'm just gonna let it happen. I'm like that. This must be something. This is gonna help.
You fully feel yourself chucked all the way up to the ceiling, and as you collide with the ceiling, you realize that you feel this like watery texture. And as you collide, you don't feel like you're colliding with stone. You feel like you have collided with the texture of shell.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna reach out and grab for the
Make me a dexterity saving
shell
throw.
if I can. A dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
8.
8.
I'm not rolling good today at all.
I'll say definitely 8 is enough, especially given that we will essentially just. I assume Stan's plan is to repeat this until it works.
Yeah. If he
So
falls, I'm gonna catch him and
yeah.
eat.
So as you sort of scramble, you feel like both you and the turtle scramble to reach your hands, and then you're sort of left suspended, holding each other up. You're making physical contact with what used to be your body.
Are you trapped here?
You feel the echoes of someone saying exactly the same to you. Like, as
Just
you say
just
that,
climb up.
I'm like, okay, I'm just climb up into it.
Yeah, pretty much. Up, around. I went through. You can do what you want, really.
This is quite interesting. I feel like there's something more here that we're not looking into.
It's okay. We can come back when the king isn't immediately in danger.
Oh yeah, okay. And then I'm gonna climb up through. And I completely forgot about the king there for a second.
a very surreal experience of you climbing as a gnome, climbing through this portrait. As you feel the turtle shell beneath you, you suddenly realize that you're not climbing up, you're falling down, and your perspective
yeah.
switches, and you are the turtle laying on the ground.
Oh, can I not catch him?
You can catch him if you want, maybe an athletics check.
Oh yeah.
Could
Oh,
I
yeah.
could I like withdraw into my
15.
shell as I start falling?
Yeah, you withdraw into the shell, and you are caught expertly by Stan.
Oh, thank God. Right, let's now leave this room. We're coming back here. We're
You can-
definitely
you
coming
can
Try
back.
not to look at the ceiling as we leave.
You can see a gnome being held by a gnome up at the, like, you see a gnome that looked like you and a gnome that looked like Stan being held the same way you're being held.
Can I, just before I leave, try and detect what kind of magical energy this might be?
Sure. Are you using a spell, or do you want to give me an Arcana check?
I would like to just do Arcana, please.
Wonderful.
19.
19. You would say that this is a mixture of magics. You can see that there is definitely transmutation going on. You can also see that there is a bunch of illusion magic here. But you can also see that there's some divination.
Some divination. Okay. And I would like to leave the room now. I'm going to keep that.
As you exit, the twins and Raph are both sort of snickering a little bit, giggling a little bit at their clearly a room that they know what it did, playfully, but allowed you to enter.
I'm not going to lie, that gnome definitely was packing something, and I was...
So, in the interest of fairness,
Yeah.
Stan and
Got a
Lobnob
roll.
both checked immediately what their gnomish sizes and what their regular sizes were. So, would Zuax like to roll me... I let Lobnob roll a d20, I think. Or was it a d12?
I think I got a D20.
A d20.
Yeah, it was a D20.
So, roll me a d20 for your regular form, and roll me a d12 for your gnomish form.
Oh, that poor gnome. Right.
Peak D&D content.
Peak D&D.
Yep.
Okay,
12.
so you're currently packing 12. But your gnome was packing whatever the D12 is.
10? Like, not that much?
Not that much difference. Not that much
I didn't
difference
have
at all.
Didn't have clothes on? Like,
Yeah.
that's fair.
You
That's
guys all seen a fairly packing gnome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But,
if you were a foot tall and it was
yeah,
10,
if you were a
10 inches. You seen a gnome with easily a third leg.
Bro, that's like nearly the size of him at that point in time. You're about a foot tall. Like,
Yeah.
oh, right, okay, that's a absolutely terrible image. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Literally, is it like
I
a
think it's
feather
very
boa
obvious to Zuax that Lubnub does not like that room.
If I fell as that gnome, I'd have been able to use that as a parachute. Like, oh my god.
a grappling hook, swing it around and throw it at the nearest thing.
Should have stayed a gnome.
He's literally gonna helicopter it.
Yes, as you enter into this room, after also seeing that Lubnub absolutely fucking hated being a gnome, no insight necessary, he has made it painfully obvious that he hated being a gnome. You enter into this final room, final chamber, where you see, as a member of, if not human pantheon faith, you know that there is in front of you a statue of the goddess Intarach, surrounded by multiple chairs, as if to surround her in worship, as well as the corpses of many zombies.
Okay.
Good times were
Okay.
had in this room.
I,
You know, well,
I can see that you clearly did enjoy yourself looking at all the dismembered body parts strewn about the room. My liege, we are about to head towards the castle at this moment in time, the throne room. If you would like to pray, this is probably the best location for you to do that. I know this is not
Yeah.
exactly your deity, but
You know that this kind of this isn't the deity
yeah.
that has chosen him, but it is the deity that he seems to be the most committed to worshipping. And he does. He sits and prays for maybe 10, 15 minutes. He sits on one of these chairs, eyes closed, in a state of supplication, making sure that he is mumbling prayer. But
I'd like to join him while he's doing that, but I'll be
Yeah.
praying to the soul below.
you pray to your god as you're doing. Just make me a flat religion check as you pray.
Oh, 2 wee seconds I've accidentally reloaded D&D Beyond. Guy.
Give D&D Beyond an hour and a half to reload.
Yeah, to reload. It's actually going pretty fast tonight, to be honest.
It's getting a lot better. Like, it really
Mm.
is. The times on D&D Beyond are so much better these days.
Religion.
Yes, indeed.
Poor 7.
7. You don't feel anything spectacular happening. Like, you know what the soul below is capable of. You know, and especially because you get your spells from them every day. You know what their general vibe is. You get the sense that this is not their territory. Like, this is a room built for followers of Intarach, by followers of Intarach, with a big statue of her in the middle. You're feeling not disconnected, but just not in the right frame to be doing this.
No problem. No bother. I'm okay with that. We'll finish our re-praying section. We'll get
Yeah.
ready to head off.
As you guys exit, the city awaits. Your map has loaded far faster than mine.
that's delightful. Yippee.
You guys are about there. You can see the church right there, where that triangle is.
Yep,
You
he's got
know,
nuked. Campaign over.
campaign over, nuke the
That's-
city.
Right.
You know that the Church of Intarach is round about here.
Oh, that's not where we're going.
Where are we? Are we heading towards the Citadel? Is
The
that where we're
Citadel,
going?
yes. That is
Oh.
the inner city, the inner sanctum of the royal family. As you come out into the grey sprawl, you can see that there are no real signs of any of the chaos of last night. Last night you could hear screaming and you could hear the bells tolling as people were announcing that things are under attack. And now you see not necessarily a return to normal, not a city that is being like going about its daily business, but you can see that this is a city that is quiet. Not empty, not under siege, but quiet, as if this was much earlier in the day or much later in the day. That sort of vibe. But you're like 12 o'clock, lunchtime, should be everyone's about doing stuff. Very quiet in the city. Maybe 10, 15 people you can see at glancing.
Has the young king and his entourage made any attempt at hiding who they are?
As of yet, the only person hiding who they are is the member of the Grey Light. He seems to be wearing now a white t-shirt over his greys.
My liege, it is best that you cover yourself up. I can assist you, if you would like.
Yes, absolutely. That is. Should we all?
Yeah, everyone should be doing it.
We're
honestly.
making our final push to the Citadel. Is it not better that we announce ourselves? Will they
No,
allow us
no.
in if we are looking like vagrants?
Yes,
You will
they
not
will.
be.
You have bright golden eyes.
Yes,
You
the
will
eyes,
not
of
look like
course.
a
Yes, the
vagrant.
eyes, of course. Yes, no, Yes, you're correct. I'm the king. I'm the king.
I'm gonna cover him
Phil
up
will get.
in
Of
like a
course
big
they'll let
cloak.
you in.
Can
This whole
I?
conversation's going on as I'm just doing a perception check, looking around our
Yeah,
surroundings.
sure. Give me a perception check. And as you're giving me a perception check, can I request that one of our party turns on a light?
Oh, why?
Come on,
Come
dude.
on. You
Turn
know
on,
you love
turn on a
creatures.
light.
He literally
Come on.
fades away into nothing when he leans back like that. Like
See,
he does not
see, you
exist.
get it. You get it.
Matt also needs a light.
I don't know why I got so dark there all of a sudden. Does that?
Yeah, that's a bit better.
That's very dramatic.
Vinny, go turn your light on.
Oh, it was so dark because I was looking on Vinny's screen. That makes so much more
Yes.
sense. And let's shut that back over.
He's so dark that everyone else gets lighter.
That's
You
a
know,
treat.
pitch black.
Right.
It just looks like I'm in pitch darkness.
You are in pitch darkness.
I'm genuinely not. I'll take a photo of how bright it is around me.
The thing is, mate, I
Make
fully
sure you
believe
get
you
the
because I
flash
used to
on.
have this issue.
I can see on your phone how bright this is.
Yeah, look, it's not dark.
I feel like we're playing like an Outlast kind of game or
I
something.
know.
It's not
It feels
dark.
like you're doing a horror mode. Sorry. What was your perception check there, Lub?
It was a massive 4.
A 4.
Oh.
So you see what everyone else sees, which is a quiet city, and you can see that the Citadel is right in front of you. There's maybe a 100-foot gap of unprotected land before you get to like an actual gap in the Citadel. This is the main entrance to the Citadel. There is no sort of moat or drawbridge, but you can see that it is a heavy iron drop gate with spikes at the bottom. Clearly a very defensible position meant to kill anyone trying to make it through if the lever is pulled. Inside you can see that it is almost like on a raised platform, so the walls around it are, although they are about 40 feet high, you can see over that, you can see that the start of the castle begins sort of 20 feet in the air as the land raises up. It's sort of built onto a hill. Very defensible, very, very standard castle. And that's it. On a 4, that's all you really see. I will say one more thing on a 4. What you don't see is any signs of any guards anywhere.
There's no guards at all.
Other
all
than the people
dead.
next to you. No.
I mean, I'm just going to have my maul in my hand.
I have an incredibly bad feeling about this, my liege. Where was Tom and Edward, if you do not mind me asking? Where did the murder of your father take place?
We, if I'm honest, we left in a rather hurry. The report came that he was dead, and this was a report from the Hands of the Valley. We were told that he was dead, and they handed over, and they look around a little bit, and then Harold holds out his hand. and you can see on he sort of shows like that. On the ring finger of his dominant hand, his right hand, so not in a wedding band slot, is a really large, ornate, solid gold ring with the signature of Surtur on it, the holy symbol of Surtur, which is the sort of the banner of House Baywick, which is their royal house. The royal banner is the sun rising over the bay. Literally, their name is the Burning Bay, like bay is in the wick. So they handed over the ring, and to put it mildly, if father was living, they would not have got this ring.
But we don't know where his life was taken. No.
No. And he looks at
I-
he looks at Edward and Aylwin at this point, and they both say, "Well, no. We will definitely be able to find that out, though. That seems mildly unimportant as far as we
No,
can
I
tell."
don't
What
think
if he was murdered just over there?
that is not mildly unimportant. That is incredibly important. We are trying to protect the young liege. So we must know where the king passed away. Was it in the citadel? Was it at the church? Where?
You can see that Edward and Aylwin have a very meaningful look between each other, and you can see
We could be walking
there's about
into a trap.
30-second pause as they stare at each other intently. I think the last report was that he was killed in the citadel.
So we are walking
That's
into a trap.
breached then.
There is also reports that it was most likely poison.
But
Where's
would
the
still
guards?
be breached.
I don't know. I've not been to the citadel. This is Aylwin talking.
Edward Tommen, you were young once. How did you sneak out of the citadel anytime you stayed here?
Tommen looks at you completely stone-faced. I was always accompanied by the Royal Guard. I never... And Edward was like, there's a back door to one of the... And they both look at each other, and you can see that Edward is looking confused at Tommen, and Tommen is giving him the same look back.
I like two brothers going, you never did that?
Yeah,
Like,
literally the younger brother going, the fuck you mean you didn't do this? And Edward is like, yeah, no, there's a low point at the wall and a high point in the hill. Easy to sneak out, tough to sneak in. But we could... I always snuck back in through the main gate, if I'm honest. It's nice and easy to make a guard say, like, to make a guard go away when you're saying, I want to come in and be protected.
I think it's best that they don't know that we have came in, so we are best sneaking.
I hate to say it, but there doesn't seem to be a they around.
I don't trust the citadel right now. Have you ever seen it so lightly guarded?
Harold pipes up and says, well, if we can't make it to the throne room, we know there is another area we are wanted.
Harold, I'm not going to lie. You are young. Let the older individuals speak.
Make me just a flat charisma check as you, like, put the king in his place.
Like, just flat charisma.
Yeah.
Shut up,
please, no.
You see Harold's vibe sour. He is listening to you, but he's doing that thing of like a kid that is clearly not going to drop this subject.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does shut up because he does, like, he's an intelligent bloke. He recognizes that he doesn't really know what's going on. But he's
not happy.
You feel his vibe sour against you.
I'm fine with that. First things first, let's get into the citadel and get you crowned, and then we will head to the church.
Harold doesn't say anything, but sort of tugs on Edward's arm to get him to come away with him. And Edward leaves the conversation with you as you're talking to Tommen. And Tommen says, well, I think the best thing to do would be to send a small force in as a scouting party. perhaps 2-3 men tops, while we as the main force stay here to guard His Majesty. I can easily dispatch 2 members of the Royal Guard. They will be the least noticed and most dispensable.
Stan, Lubnub, what do we think is the best plan here? Stay together as a group, but sneak in, I think, is a good option.
Well, when I can't make a decision, I usually do rock, paper, scissors.
We could roll a dice.
I
Good roll
think
dice.
I'm
You
getting
have
bored.
dice.
Could roll a dice.
After about a
Oh.
minute of this like short conversation,
How
Eh.
about we use a trick from my old raiding days?
oh,
Breaking
No,
down the
Lubnub.
wall, I don't think will work.
I never said I was going to break down a wall. Take that low
Beating
point he
wall
pointed
doesn't
out.
work.
Let's get a scout lookout. We see people in black armor, we know they're the bad ones. We see people in not black armor, we still watch out.
And we could
We send
always tie a rope around me and throw me over the wall.
I can carry you over.
And
as
then
you,
that way
as
we have a
you're
rope. And
as you're talking, Edward comes over, looking like put together, but visibly unhappy. His Majesty would like to suggest a plan going forward that we
Let's hear it.
unveil ourselves and announce ourselves publicly with a show of force, slaughtering any who come to pass.
is the Majesty ready for that blood on his hands?
I think Lubna pinches himself, just double check he heard that correctly.
No, realistically, that's not the worst plan. Unfortunately, my
Sadly, is
king,
not.
what if you get hurt?
His Majesty is trained by the best swords in the city. And
He
the,
is our
trained
liege.
They are to the knee
as you
to the
say
waist.
that, as he says that, you hear a snort from somewhere in the back of someone derisively laughing.
Do I even need to roll to know that was a grey light?
You can roll if you would like. You don't see anyone in particular make that sound, but you also
It's 'cause
don't
they're
have direct
Okay.
eyesight of the grey. But
Great.
fairly
Right.
quickly after that, you, shoving forward, can see Dorian making his way to the front of the party and says, "We suggested that His Majesty train with the best swords in the city, and that claim was rebutted again and again. I think you'll find that the best swords in the city are the ones clad in grey. If you're looking for a scout, I'll go ahead."
Please, Dorian, we do not want to walk into a trap.
Any objections?
I'm bored sitting here. I want to do something, and I don't care if I have to charge that gatehouse myself.
I want one of you to make me a luck check. On a low roll, the king is going to hear this plan.
I am not going to roll it because I have been rolling atrocious all night, and I've been trying, guys. I'm trying.
What do you think,
Someone
Stan?
else
Is it me
do
and
it.
you? If you suggest
Rock,
rock, paper,
paper,
scissors, I'm going, nope, I'm rolling it. Is that a D20?
A D20.
8.
8. You just beat the threshold. I was going to say anything of a 6 or lower, and the king is going to come over hearing this. As you hear him say this, maybe 5 seconds of silence after he says any objections, the king walks over. Well, what seems to be the plan, guys? Are we going to the church, or are we moving on forward to the citadel?
Dorian, you...
Oh,
my liege, sorry. Dorian is going to scout ahead, and we are going to move towards the higher level that your brother spoke of.
As he goes to talk, Dorian says, "I heard no objections," and he walks off. And Harold is sort of just left, not with like that words on his tongue that he now won't say, swallowing them a little. Around 5-10 minutes later, Dorian comes back. There are guards deeper inside. You can. I was looking, and by the way, you guys watched him walk off. He literally walked to the main gate and then walked round the citadel in a like full pattern of like, I'm just gonna look round everything, not really caring for his own protection or anything. As he walks back, he says, there are guards clad in the royal sigils sitting at the front doors to the castle. They seem to have moved back to a defensive position. My guess is that their numbers are low, and I must admit, they did not look like trained men. These looked like recruits, some of them, and not just recruits, not just basically untrained men. There are a lot of holy men travelling around in the citadel. There are bishops and priests in the courtyard, seemingly just waiting.
So be it, we storm the entrance. Let's go.
Do you think they crowned the church when we were away?
Could have. Let's do it.
As you say that, are you hiding that you said that?
No.
Tommen and Edward are like, they wouldn't dare. The people of this city know who their king is. We have had rulers with golden eyes for the last 5,000 years.
Tom Edward, greed exists.
That is true, but tradition also too exists.
Then we storm the entrance. Let's go. Show of force.
You
Right
see
as
all
Liege wants.
all the guards take off their cloaks. The king in his bright, shining, polished armor. You can see Edward and Tommen both in all full plate. You can see that Edward brings out a two-handed broadsword, a proper like Damascus steel, like clearly forged in fire, bright red ruby hilt, massive two-handed broadsword. And then Edward pulls out. It's a short sword with a shield combo, but you can see the short sword too is also that sort of Damascus layered black and silver steel with a giant ruby handle, and the sigil on his shield is his house symbol, which is a blue bay burning bright with the light of the sun. And as you all march forward, you see these people take formation around the king, which is 3 in front, 3 in back, 1 on either side, sort of turtle formation. And then in front of all of that, you can see that they've placed Tommen and Edward as the front two shoulders, basically forming a military turtle that is marching in succession, like perfectly timed, excellently trained military turtle. And then behind that, I'm guessing you three and the two brothers, the twins, and Raph? Or do you guys want to be in front?
I would like to be not in front, but very close to Tommen and Edward in case they need assistance.
Okay, so you guys are like shoulder to shoulder with the front row.
Yeah, like kind of like that.
Excellent.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We are the force.
Okay.
No one in front of me, so if I need to charge, I can get straight in there.
As you're going forward, you can see that there is, as Dorian described, there are gatherings of like spatterings here and there of holy men. You can see that there's also like a force of guards that look to be 19, 20-year-old boys and girls, all of them in full plate, the same silver as the regular city guards, the spears as opposed to swords, sort of ready for a siege mentality, all set up, all posted, and looking fairly well trained. As you guys are wandering forward, you hear Tommen in an absolutely booming voice, "Make way for the king!" And no one moves. He keeps marching. All the priests stay the fuck out the way. All the sort of guards all look like wide-eyed and drop to one knee as you all march straight into the keep. And you come
And
up.
no one is reacting.
You come up to the front door. All of the guards have dropped to one knee. That immediately, as soon as he said, "Make way for the king," all the guards dropped to one knee.
But
And
the priests haven't.
all the priests have not dropped to one knee. They all don't move. They all just stare. And as soon as you get to the door, you can see a trickle of like 4 or 5 of them walking calmly off outside the citadel.
I'm going to look over to Dorian. Where is he?
He's just behind you guys.
Dorian.
He's not hiding his presence.
Could you follow them?
He looks at the king. I'm paid to stay by his side and guard him personally. I don't mind scouting ahead, but I don't know how far these priests will go.
We need to find out where they head.
Edward and Elwyn pipe up. If you're looking for spying, that would be us. We could send someone. Or,
Could you send someone?
yeah, Elwyn immediately peels off and dispatches. And as you watch her leave, you see her wave her hand over her face, and she dissolves into mist, invisibly continuing.
Perfect. We're going to march forward.
You guys make your way into the citadel. All goes well. You guys march on in. You can see that there are guards. You find more and more experienced people inside. About 10 minutes after you guys arrive, you guys are found in the main citadel, like in the main throne room. You guys wander through twisting corridors, beautifully decorated statues, beautifully decorated murals and tapestries on every wall. The wealth in this city all kind of funnels through these baywicks. They're well known, they're famous, they're very much like God's chosen warriors type thing. It's a family that has run this for a good while. Although this isn't the family that founded the city, they are the family that is currently being blessed with the eyes. And it's been that way for a long while. So they are redecorated it in their style. As you make your way to the throne room, you can see these large columns all made of solid black obsidian. As you look out on this white flooring, this white marble smooth flooring with the red carpet, almost mirroring the wick that would be formed as if there was a gigantic candle in the centre of the room with the throne as the fire. And you can see that the throne has been carved out of this like golden mahogany style wood with red and orange upholstery, giving it that look of the red candle with the red flame. And as you go further and further up and look back, you can see that the back wall is painted with sort of blue sapphire colour, giving it the illusion that it is a candle raising itself out of the water, hence the name Baywick. As you make it to the throne, you are watching as Harold is ascending the steps, wearing the crown already of Greydrop. Does anyone want to do anything as the ceremony begins?
Could
Maybe
I...
we'll take that.
you go, Stan. You go, Stan.
Thank you. I'll have a little look around, see if there's any like, vantage points for a shooter. Have a look, see if the doors creaked open a little, see if anyone's at the doors.
You can
see if I can
see,
smell it.
yeah, just looking around, you can see that there is an upper balcony on the right side of the wall, so that there can be observers. But roll me a perception check to see how well you look around. I will remind you that perception is looking around, and there's also the alternative of the inspection, which would be physically checking doors, checking things. Looking around, you can see that there is no real signs of violence, other than the fact that everyone here is fully clad in armour, ready for a fight. You don't see any signs of interlopers or anyone stopping this.
Into a position to be able to like, run and body block the king if he's about to get shot.
Yeah.
There we go.
Could I investigate the throne before the king sits upon it?
Yeah, absolutely. Make me an investigation check.
Investigation.
As you go to inspect the throne, as you go to ascend the steps to the throne, you see all the king's guards stamp their feet. Zoak, this is a dangerous time to be ascending those steps.
I wish to make sure that the throne is safe for his liege. I have a bad feeling. My god gave me a message and I do not trust what is happening right now.
You have a divine message about the throne?
I do not know if it's divine or not. I don't know what gave me the message, but I don't trust what is going on. There's more to this.
Harold pipes up. You don't trust your king? What is going on here? Why help me if this is the case?
Harold, I do not trust the people around you.
You don't trust the church?
I don't trust the church.
That is different from the people around me.
You seem to fill yourself with the church quite often.
My habits are none of your concern. And he starts ascending the steps ahead of you.
I would like to step back and not investigate the throne then.
As you step back, you can see about 2-3 minutes goes by as the Tommen and Edward leads the ceremony. It is your very standard, essentially what you would imagine is happening here is happening. There is oaths being said, his titles are being read. You get the King Harold, third of his name. You get the commander of the Royal Military, commander of the Royal Guard, commander of the city of Greydrop. You hear, among other titles, because this is a very ancient throne that he's ascending, that is just a modern interpretation of it. You also hear the light that guides us, and you also hear the Bringer of Dawn, which is just some of the titles that he is being progressed with. And during that time, you hear the doors slam open behind you as a procession of heavily armoured people walks in. Looking around, you can see that there is a procession of around 30 heavily armoured paladins, all wearing bright gold cloaks with the sort of standard stainless steel military armour. You can see the symbols of Antarach, the light shining through clouds as they go forward. They're all swords up, covering their faces. Full military formation, 30 armoured paladins walking through, and in the centre being carried by 2 priests on either side. You can see is a palanquin, which if you're not familiar is essentially it's like 2 poles with a big chair in the middle. So you can see that there are 2 in the front and 2 in the back being carried on a palanquin. You all recognise...
No, not Mustache Man.
Hang on.
Forgot.
Forgot.
You all recognise, drumroll.
You all
Love
recognise... Wow. You all recognise a half-elf. You would recognise him as named Trislin, which is spelled Trisyn. Trislin. He is known as the Radiance. He is a cleric of Antarach, and he is what would be accustomed to a spiritual leader. He would be holding the position of what would be in the Catholic faith, he would be a pope. That's the sort of level of position he holds. This is a founding city of her faith. As he walks in, you can also recognise... actually, I don't know if you would recognise anyone else. Make me a religious roll to see if anyone recognises anyone else, because none of you are particularly religious other than the guy that hates it.
Yeah, the guy who does not like religion.
Yeah.
He'll literally
I was going to say,
shits on
who's that
religion.
applying to? The cleeric, or the guy who desecrates temples for fun?
But I mean, kind of both of you.
10 I got.
A 10. Okay, so actually the only person who does recognise anyone else is Lubnub. You would recognise, for good reason, you would recognise Sir Blackwood. He is a dedicated paladin of Antara. The only reason you recognise him is because you have a vague memory one time when you were drunk, that you were wandering through the woods and you caught him training in the woods on a wild animal, and he was essentially wrestling a boar, like hand-to-hand combat wrestling a boar, and as he punched it, fire moved all the way up his fist, and he fully penetrated the skull in a burning radiance and gutted it internally with one hand as he moved on to the next animal. And I think you took note of the pure barbaric violence of someone, and you're like, damn, I recognise that guy. I don't know his name. I don't know why I recognise him, but I know exactly what he was doing in that forest. And it was fucking violent. So, whether Lubnub would see that as a noble trait is up to him. But, yeah. That's the only other person you recognise.
50-50.
As
This guy's bad news, but he's fucking cool.
as you're watching, you can see that the very old half elf on the palanquin speaks up and says, "My liege, is it not custom to be doing this ritual under the light of Intara? I was under the impression you were a loyal follower of our faith." And Harold sort of immediately becomes flustered. And Tommen and Edward look up and say, "This is outrageous. You can't be interrupting this. This is the coronation of our king." And Tarek's followers all stamp in unison and say, "For the king, for the church." Does anyone want to do anything while this is unfolding?
I love not get ready to smash. But I'm
No,
I'm gonna
that's
say that
bad news.
incredibly quietly, so it's like just going up to Lubnub and being like that. Get ready, something's about to happen here. Like this is not good. And I'm gonna make my way over towards the priest, making sure they know that I am no harm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my liege, but
You will address
with current
me as His Radiance.
apologize, your radiance. But at the times we are in right now, we did not have time to console you on the matter.
He sneers. He sneers at you and looks up to Harold. "Is this who you surround yourself with when you're not at church, my lord? You are associating yourself with people who believe themselves holier than Antara? People who would look at the church as a second thought?" And you can see that Harold is looking incredibly uncomfortable. Yes, Morty, he is. Yes.
I turn to the king. Harold, the religion is wonderful. Unfortunately, that priest literally has everyone putting it on a podium.
He is no priest. He is the Radiance. He is Trestlin the Wise.
That's fair, but how do you think he got that title? He pushed
And
others
Tarek
down
chose
to
him.
get there.
I'm sorry, my lord, but no one who truly is wise calls himself wise.
He nods towards you, the sneer gone, and he says, "I fully and wholeheartedly agree. The title is not of my origin."
Sure, it isn't. What about the little pal cage you came in? Not of your origin either.
"I find it difficult to walk in my old age, good sir. I'm sure you would not deprive an old man of his right to see the king."
I would not.
And the army you've brought?
Celebration for the new coronation.
Why do they have their swords out?
You've never seen a military parade before?
I have, with their swords in sheaths.
Why would a priest need a military parade?
And Tarek maintains her own military. Paladins come and serve us at their pleasure.
You are
Is that
more
why
than
the church
welcome.
began to move in?
What was that, sorry, Stan?
Is that why the church began to move in and only left as soon as the king arrived?
To keep order within a city crumbling to down? Yes, the church stepped in. When the king vanished, squirreled away by his would-be servants, his voice rises. Squirreled away for all to hide while the city plummets. Yes, the church stepped in. Yes, we took control. We are happy to relinquish it. We are happy to bow to the king. And as he says bow to the king, all the paladins drop to one knee.
I don't trust them. I don't trust them.
Around about
At
this
least
time,
now.
even more confusingly, round about this time, you see leading a charge into the main throne room. Not maybe charge is the wrong word, but leading a large amount of people into the throne room. You can see Lord Stoneheart moving his way through with all the people that were there last night in the tunnels, all of the guards, all heavily armoured. And you can see that Stoneheart has put on like fine leather garb. He looks as if he has puffed up since last night. Almost as if the armor is sort of acting as artificial muscle.
Could I cast thaumaturgy?
Sure, yeah.
I'd like to put a darker spot around his groin.
Roll me a stealth check to cast magic in this very
Oh no, I roll so low.
in this very fraught environment.
I've
you
never
gotta
prayed to any gods in my life, but please give me a high roll.
Pray to the Earth Mother for this.
Pray to the
Oh
Earth Mother.
no!
Oh.
As soon as you start
Oh,
moving your hands to cast magic, all the paladins jump to attention, swords out, held out, pointing at you. We recognise magic while it's being cast, sir, says the man that you recognise as Lubnub, although you don't know his name.
I was just casting guidance on my liege.
Perhaps it is best you face his liege when casting spells to boost his.
I'm gonna turn around and be like, quite clearly, I was not casting guidance like that. You know what I mean? Like, quite clearly, I was not doing that.
Yeah. As Lord Stoneheart is making his way into the main throne room, it's now starting to get a little cramped in here. You can see that most of the nobility are now making their way in here, and you can hear bells from somewhere inside here. Just basically bells tolling, announcing that something is happening here. And you see Lord Stoneheart basically going about saying, well, the coronation is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. Did I not say that this would be the way forward? Did I not lead you to the path of the new king being crowned? Look upon, you can see that his majesty is being crowned under the light of Antarek, as I said would be. All is well in the city, no? And he looks towards the room. Does anyone object that all is well?
Aren't we under siege?
Is the king not been assassinated?
The king is dead, that is for sure. However, long live the king. And he bows to Harold. As does the rest of the congregation. Does everyone else join in?
I don't know nothing about the ceremony or anything like that, but knowing that this power comes from Surtur, is it not meant to be under him?
You say that to who? Or just to the general congregation?
I think that's more, I'm saying that towards Lubnub and Stan.
Okay.
I haven't been here for that long.
unhelpfully to you, I have not cared to learn anything about this city. I just want to leave it.
I've lived here my whole life, and I still don't know much about religion.
As you say, I've lived here my whole life. One of the congregation that is coming in, you can see that although everyone who was there last night is there, you can see that stepping forward is a new individual. You can see an incredibly old lady stepping forward. She is like a human, clearly a human, old beyond recognition, like wrinkles that upon wrinkles upon wrinkles, in full plate mail. And you can see that she is like hobbling forward, and she's carrying her sword by the hilt, but using it as a walking stick. And she hobbles forward and says, "Staniel! Staniel!
Yes. Oh,
Why do you
hello.
keep running off? Staniel! Come here!"
I'm sorry, my lady. I'm just gonna walk up, go over, and just.
Where is your armor? Why are you not wearing your armor?
I don't wear my armor when I'm not in my job. I went to my part-time job.
I've told you many times, you're not allowed a part-time job.
Oh, but
You can see that the whole congregation is watching as this old lady just berates Stan, and clearly in public, clearly berating him, and he is reacting in this way. And at a certain point, she picks up her sword in both hands and swings the blunt of it towards Stan's head. You take no damage as it makes full contact to the side of your head.
it's just a bong.
It's definitely like being hit by a wiffle bat almost. For a Goliath against this human. And she's like, "I've told you before, any more abandonment of your duties, and I'll have you hanged."
I'll lean over to Zoax.
Sorry.
We just went from a definite situation where we were all gonna die to this.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I think that's his mother.
I'm sorry. I promise if I practice my cooking, it will only be to you.
As
I
this
think we
is
just lost a
happening, another knight steps forward. You first thought is that this must be another knight, but as he steps forward, you recognise that he's wearing the blue petticoats of a squire. So he's got like almost not petticoat. That's fully the wrong word. It's a half cape, of a squire. And he steps forward, takes off his helmet. You see long, flowing, luscious golden locks, bright blue-green sea eyes, like the perfect amount of stubble against a really chiseled skin, a really chiseled chin, clearly muscular, tall, confident, and he steps forward and says, "Stan, no, dear, we can't be running off, can we? You wouldn't want to make the rest of us look bad. Perhaps you should resume your duties. Or perhaps," and he looks to the rest of the congregation with his arms out, "perhaps it is best he abandon entirely to spend time with his brand new friends." And he points towards you two. And you can see that the congregation is snickering a little bit at Stan.
I kind of want to break that one.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of old friends, Sebastian, I heard you had a really good mentor when you were a child. Gave you a lot of the power you have today. Hey, why don't you introduce everyone?
To my old mentor, I'm not sure who you're talking about, Stan.
Yes, I'm sure you
I
wouldn't
get
be
all of my power from myself and my amazing tutelage through the city's works. And as this is going on, Tommen steps forward in a loud, booming voice and says, "You are all acting a fool. Sit down, all of you. Observe the ceremony or interrupt. Make your fucking choice. And there is silence, unless anyone would like to break it. No? You all watch as a new king is crowned in Greydrop. And that is where we'll leave it this week.
Yippee!
I can't believe Stan's mum came to kidnap him.
Does Stan want to tell everyone what was going on with that, or is that going to be a reveal for next week?
That'll be a nice reveal for next week.
Excellent.
Except for Sebastian. Fuck that guy.
We have a
I
name.
emerged from the shadow just to say it.
I went from the shadow to say, fuck you, Sebastian.
Fuck you, Sebastian. How did I get
Hey,
so...
we've been introduced to him for like
shadowy
3
again?
seconds, and already I want to take him outside and
Yeah, I
maul him
already
to
hate
death.
him so much. I
Got
despise him.
shadowy again. God damn it.
Excellent. So how's everybody feeling about the session? Happy days?
Delightful.
Genuinely
I'm
thought that I was going to have
so-
to fight 30 paladins there.
Yeah, I'm so paranoid right now. I don't know what's going on, but I know this ain't good.
I was so tempted to grasp of Hadar, the guy off the chair, just so he'd faceplant.
Instant
Counter
death.
argument, I consider throwing a hand axe at him.
It's alright,
Instant
I can
death.
pull him into the hand axe.
How dare he badmouth me in my religion? Hate him.
We've been introduced to a couple more of the big players, a couple more of the big names and big peoples. How are we all feeling about who's involved and who's not? And I'm
And
sort
we
of
have all took turns pissing each one of them off.
yes. I'm sort of going for a more like a murder mystery Game of Thronesy type. Who did it? Who's against us?
Raging,
Yeah.
I didn't get to make piss his pants again, but we'll get another chance. We'll get another chance, guys. We'll get another
Yes.
one.
I'm begging you, next session, call him Piss Pants in game. Because Lubnub will just be like, what was his name again? Piss Pants, yeah.
What was his name again? Piss Pants. Henry Stoneheart? No, you mean Piss Pants.
Really
I definitely
annoying.
let Espans, the most corrupt one working in taxis, go to the church. Look, he's the most corrupt one we had, and we sent him to the church.
You guys didn't
Yeah, so-
send him to the church. You sent him off to be a distraction to the church.
Like we
Yeah, and he
didn't
came
send him to the church.
We
But
didn't
I mean,
send him
personally,
to
I
the
wasn't
church.
part of this plan at all. I was quite happily walking through the streets, hoping for assassins.
I am waiting to see what happens when what's her name comes back, so we know where
Spywoman.
those 4 priests went.
Yeah, I think that's
That's
gonna
what
be interesting.
that's
Well,
what I'm
if
waiting
she
on.
came back, and it's like, yeah, they each went home to their loving family.
The priests,
What do
they
you
can't have
want me
families.
to say? They can adopt.
They were the spies all along.
Oh
No,
God, they adopt the
definitely.
children. The orphanage.
There's a lot going on here. There's a lot that we don't understand, and I do not trust the church.
I think
There
you've
was
made
so
that
much-
abundantly clear. I think if there's one thing we can take away from this week's session, it's you don't love the church.
Zuax really does not trust the church, and he hates it even more since he badmouthed my religion.
There was so much impulse control that session.
There was a lot.
Like,
A little bit.
when you guys were trying to plan what to do, I was honest to God just gonna. Right, I pull out the shield I stole from the dead hobgoblin. I'm just gonna walk towards the gatehouse.
Yeah.
I was gonna give the king the shield, and I was like, nah, he'll be fine.
He'll
It
be
would really
fine.
ruin the image. Having a rickety old shield that's been used as a plate for dead fish at its coronation, nah.
Here, my lord,
look
have a
good.
stinking shield.
I think that would
Here you
slap.
go, my lord.
What,
It's
sorry?
so much fun.
I think it would slap if we did give him that shield, though.
It would,
I
pretty
think
soon.
we should have given him that
hello,
shield.
my
Thank you, my. Oh God, what the hell happened to it? What? Take it back.
Smelling a
please.
mouldy fish guts.
Take it back, please.
Go away.
But there's definitely a big thing going on here, and that the king is not safe where he is.
No.
He is not safe. We don't
Right,
know
no, we
who
don't.
is sieging the city. We don't know who's killed the king. We don't know why they did it.
Mm.
We just know that the church is involved.
Do we?
No, yeah, we do. Yeah.
Everyone is
do we?
involved but us.
I feel it in my gizzards. The only thing I know for a fact is that you're a chef. He likes to hit things, and the church did it.
A
You
good
even know
rule,
if
good
I'm a
rules to
chef.
live by. You're a chef. He hits things, and the church did everything I hate.
The church did it.
Do you know if I'm a chef?
How do we feel about meeting Stoneheart, the guy that's been making your life hell for the entire time you've been in the city, not paying for any medical supplies, not having anything spare to feed the people?
Glad he pissed his pants. We definitely will be getting Mr. Piss Pants again. We will most certainly be hitting him again.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's going to be coming after Lubnub after that. I honestly considered adding him to my enemies on D&D Beyond, and I was like, you know what? He technically comes under people I've beat up as enemies, so like, yeah.
Yeah, put him down. Yeah, just
Honestly, I feel like it might be worth you putting him down.
Yeah, I think we have made an enemy. Like,
not to be too obvious as a DM, but you really pissed this guy off. Literally.
I'm not putting him down until I get
Really
until someone tells me his name's Piss Pants.
Okay.
Yes. Right, okay.
He's not getting put down until then, but there's
Until
something.
he's called Piss Pants.
I would
There's
like to
something
also.
fantastic about Lubnub threatening the connoisseur of finance.
Yeah.
There's something fantastic about that, given the
full-
backstory.
Oi, put that down. No, give
Is
it
this
give it
what
back.
do you mean you control money?
Give it
What's
back.
money?
Give it back.
You control the thing I hate most about this city. I should have slammed you as a fucking
Okay,
mace
then.
against those knives.
Yeah.
My throat.
I would like to also point out Jenna is probably going to be either really happy with what has occurred in this episode or really upset, and I don't know what it's going to be yet.
I'm really looking forward to Jenna's overall reactions to this week. It's been a big week, honestly.
Yeah.
We met Piss Pants.
Yeah, the
You
best
met
bit, me and
Piss
Stan
Pants.
have been, me and Vinny have been hyping up like the last session. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, don't leave us two unattended. It's not a good idea. Matt joins it, and it's like, oh, Matt's joined us for one session. One session later, we nearly had to fight 30 paladins, one of which is a badass.
Yeah.
The fucking Pope.
I never
Um,
said I was the smart one in this group.
Like, all I did was piss off a guy with a lot of
Your
money.
character
I've
is
done that
like-
so many times, it's became stale.
I just like healing people, and I don't like the
Why don't you
church.
heal me?
I'm being consistent, okay? I'm
like
being
healing people
consistent.
my ass. Like healing people my ass. You just put a piece of paper on my burn.
You were fine when you woke up the next morning.
You were fine.
You were fine. I knew you didn't need it.
Tis-
Lub needed it.
Tis but a scratch.
I didn't want to
Lubnub
waste.
would have been fine.
Canonically, he knew you weren't that injured, and Matt did not want to waste another spell slot on a cure wounds just in case we did get into a fight that night.
We've-
So
I could have handled it. My goodness. Here,
Otherwise-
let me
if we did get into a fight that night, all I could have done was Word of Radiance and spare the dying, and that's it.
think. Sorry,
So
spare the
didn't
dying is all
wanna do
you
that.
need.
To give
Thanks,
Matt
all
a
you need
better
is
idea of
silver.
just how
Yeah, we're still
fucked up Lubnub was, that was temporary hit points, but it was the bulk there, I believe.
Yeah, most of what was happening on your end was temporary hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda wild.
I think you were on like 2 hit points apart from your temp HP, weren't you?
No, I hit one because
you were
I
at
had to
1,
use
yeah.
Relentless Endurance triggered, so I survived at 1 HP,
Yeah.
and then I triggered some temporary hit points.
So you were literally
yeah.
1 HP and then a little bit of ancestral stuff.
Literally, the thing keeping me alive was as long
Rage.
as you did 4 damage or less,
Yeah,
I was going to live.
yeah. Yeah. It was good.
What kept me alive was the Goliath thing where once every short
Yeah,
rest
you
can
stoned
take one
endurance.
short rest,
If you hadn't Stone's Endurance done that last one, you would have probably dropped.
you would have died.
That's kind of wild. I wasn't there for that. Like the healer should have been there. I'm
Yeah.
so upset I didn't make it.
Not just the healer and the cleric, which is like the best thing to do for fighting undead is holy damage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We went through that
Because I literally have
entire
Word of Radiance as
dungeon
my
crawl.
Yeah.
We went through that
It's
entire
everyone
dungeon crawl. I
walking in.
used one ability, and then we got to the final room, and I walked away with nothing left.
Also, have like Shield of
Same.
Faith. I could have buffed one of you guys
Yeah.
with. Who's got the lowest AC out of the two of you for next time?
I have a 15.
I have a 12.
How high can? Why? Why?
Why
Why
would I not?
12?
Why would I not? Come on.
Stan has a knack for building characters that are really not useful in certain areas.
I've got 19 and I'm
Really
not wearing
delayed
armor.
enough.
I'm
Okay,
a
but you're a turtle.
That's fair.
It really
I'm a
is
chef.
fantastic the relationship our characters have with armor. There's Jenna, whose character is a walking disco bottle.
Yeah.
There is me and Matt, who are just
naked.
there's nothing there, and we still have more armor than the squire.
Hi guys. In fairness, I'm not wearing my armor.
I was going to say she did call you out for not wearing your armor, which is hilarious.
Yes.
How high can you get your AC, Kieran? Is the big question here.
If I equip a shield, which I will not do because I like my two-handed weapons too much.
And
I
also,
could
as
go
a
to 17.
barbarian, I don't think you get your bonuses with a shield that counts as armor.
Yeah.
No,
you
no.
don't get your
Unarmored
bonus.
Rage, I believe. Oh, sorry, not Unarmored Rage. That's an entirely different system.
I
Unarmored Defense, I think,
I
stacks.
think it's. Does it? I thought it was if you're wearing an armor or a shield, you don't get it.
No. Unarmored Defense, while not wearing armor, your AC is 10 plus
Oh.
your dex, plus your con, plus any
Okay.
shield bonuses.
There.
Oh, so plus shield bonuses. So you could
Excellent.
do
So
it.
yeah, you could do a shield, although I think Lubnub has just said he won't.
I could boost you up to 17 then. Like that's something.
That's pretty good
Because
for a
you're gonna
barbarian
be-
at level 3.
You're gonna be like really, really in there, so you can get with Shield of Faith. You can get buffed up.
Yeah. Because my
And it
AC is not going to
doesn't-
be increasing anytime soon, unless there's like magic items that we
Oh,
come across that are better
Does take
suited
my
to living up.
concentration.
Because I'm going to be increasing my
Actually-
strength before I increase my health.
What kind of armor did the knights have? Was it heavy or medium, would you say?
Plate, full plate.
Heavy.
Nah,
The good
so
kind.
not medium.
But because
That's
of,
why Stan wasn't wearing it.
because of your background, you could wear heavy plate because you're a squire.
No, medium.
No, I'm telling you.
Wait, what? Really? Wow,
Like, you
Stan,
fully-
Why wasn't I wearing my armor?
You've trained to wear heavy armor. That's what squires in this city are doing.
Can I just add that to my inventory?
As of when you, oh buddy,
Nah, I wouldn't have took it to work.
yeah, you wouldn't have took it to work. Sorry, the cat just fully ran into the door for no reason. But yeah, like once you are given your armor again in game, you can add it to your inventory. It's just plate. You can choose to have it be half plate if you want.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm just used to the barbarians being one of the lowest armor classes in most parties.
Yeah. Yeah. Barbarians
Yeah,
usually are. You're not really supposed to be an AC tank.
No,
you're supposed
you're
to
a HP tank.
Yeah, you're just a sponge for damage.
Mm-hmm.
No, mate, I'm a chef.
I mean, I fucking
I wasn't
sponged damage
expecting
last
time.
session.
But yeah,
like I
no,
say,
Stan, you do have armor. You just don't have it on your person because you chose to be at your chef job.
which
Yeah,
we
my
would like to
part-time
point
job.
out, he is not a
Actually.
chef. He was never
Wow.
hired.
Wow.
He's never been a chef. He's never worked as a chef, other than the fact
He's
that
tech-
he has now just been hired as a chef for this
Yeah,
party.
He's technically
Okay.
now a chef because we hired him.
Yes.
But as one, yeah.
The best part is I haven't rolled good on cooking since the first time.
No,
It's so perfect
I can-
because I have
I can
I've
only cook cheese balls.
had such poor rolls this session.
yeah, this session was overall really poor rolls. Yeah.
Actually,
it
to be
really
fair,
is a
it
shame.
Holds no bearing, but I'm gonna roll to see how well
I
I'm
mean,
gonna say cheese puffs and see how
Lobna
well I
put
would
some
do.
good rolls.
Oh no.
Lob did
Oh.
have some good rolls actually.
I learned about that
Yeah.
religious thing. I did that history thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did that
what?
intimidation.
Was so intelligent here.
I couldn't find them in D&D Beyond, but what's the item that you gave me two of at the very beginning for the healing? Is it a doctor's kit, a doctor's bag?
I
What's it called?
think they're literally just called medicine kit.
Medicine kit.
Let me
Oh,
double
my
check.
hair can just hide my face essentially.
Uh,
Healer's Kit, sorry. It's called Healer's Kit. Yeah, so this kit is a leather pouch containing bandages, salve, splints. The kit has 10 uses. As an action, you can expend 1 use of the kit to stabilize a creature that has 0 hit points. So it basically gives you 10 uses of the cantrip Spare the Dying without having to use any magic whatsoever.
That is so great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so when you're not wanting to be overtly casting magic, you can just like spend an action to reduce someone from making death saving throws to just having 0 HP.
And I'd also have all the items that my other priest asked for, yeah?
Yeah, you would get all of them. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. And -1 gold.
And -1 gold. You did lose 1 gold, yes.
Heartbroken.
Heartbroken.
You should have asked to cheat.
No, I don't cheat. No. Fair and square. My man won. My man won. But I'm
Then
really
correct you.
excited. I'm really excited to get into combat next week.
Yeah. So there will be. There's probably going to be combat next week, in some form or
I wonder
another.
who from.
God is good.
Can the combat be a debate?
I would like to put forward we break into the church. Just saying it.
It's gonna happen eventually.
I'm just saying it. Like we should totally
hate
break
the
into
church. Hate the church, guys. We should just break into the church.
Throw
We should
rocks
just-
at their windows.
The church is the bad guy as usual.
Like for no other reason other than I kind of want to stand inside it and be like that. Yeah, this looks like the place that an evil
worst
person
decor
lived
I've
in.
ever seen.
Yeah. Like,
You're looking
I'd do
around
it.
at all the money that's pouring into this church, and you're just like, damn, yeah, this looks evil.
We
could have
suspect
spent
you
that
killed
on
the
healing
king.
people.
Time to burn down your church.
Yeah,
Could have spent that on feeding the poor, but no.
but no, somebody needed a big gold throne to sit on.
But no.
Yeah,
Suax is going to be like so passive aggressive with the church. He's going to be so passive aggressive with them.
It's really interesting that your passive aggressiveness is going to turn into me having to be aggressive against some sort of paladin.
That's the aggressive part of being
And I'm-
passive aggressive.
And I'm gonna need to be really friendly because Granny's here for me.
Granny's here for you.
Granny's
Stan
here.
is passive. Lubnub is aggressive. Passive aggressive. We got it.
I'm gonna
Next
need
week,
to be really friendly though.
hopefully in 2 weeks we'll have Jen show up, and she'll just be like, "The fuck, guys? What's going
Like,
on?
What did you do?
Why are we on the brink of war? What's going
I don't
on?"
understand. I need to be nice. My grand's here.
Why are we on the brink of war? Surprisingly, it's not my fault.
Oh, I would like to point out it's
the
not my fault
pacifist
either.
struggle.
But yeah, there's a new king crowned in Greydrop. All is well with the world, guys. New king crowned, job done. As far as you guys know.
We're finished.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we done it.
So what he's going to do for next week's quest then?
Break
You're
into the
going to
church.
go for the job board, go to the local tavern, ask about rumours.
Yeah. See if they have any rats in the basement.
Yeah, rats in the basement, that's a classic.
That is a classic, to be honest. Yeah, I think we could deal with that.
You
But
sure it's not trolls in the basement? I
There's a
remember that
troll in the dungeon, but that's separate.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be there.
Yeah. No, he just lives there. He's renting it.
Canonically, there's a new tavern just popped up, Troll in the Dungeon. It's like an underground rave club.
I'm here for that. I'm so here for that. I don't even need to go to the afters. I just need to go into my shell.
Yeah.
Great.
I really love that no one questioned Lubnub when he was like, so yeah, see all these like Kingsguard, they're worth nothing. That one guy over there, that he's where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just like, nah. We know there's always gonna be a one that is a little bit stronger than the rest.
Thank God he's with us. Still don't trust him though. But
Which one are you
I don't-
talking about? The Grey.
yeah, what'd you call it, Dorian?
Dorian, yeah.
Yeah,
Funny enough,
I
he's like
him.
the only one that I actually trust.
Really, I don't.
You
I
don't
don't
trust
think
you
I
don't
trust-
trust Dorian? Why? He's so competent and lovely.
But
Is he-
his name sounds like a fruit.
Dorian,
That's
yeah.
so true.
It's true.
That is so
Yeah.
true. And not only that,
Anyone
when we
named
asked him,
after
The
fruit.
smelliest fruit there is, that bastard.
He is.
No,
He is
something stinks,
110%
and
a
it's
traitor.
not his name. It's his attitude.
I mean, he's not loyal to the crown at all. He's loyal to money. That's why I trust him.
Yeah, except what if the church is spilling gold
What if
out
they pay
of
him
every
more?
orifice?
I don't like the fact how we're like that. Be discreet and check out the Citadel, and he just went up to the front door, went, "There's people in there," and then walked around. That's like that's not discreet, dude. I said be discreet, and he's just like he walks up to the door and goes, "Is there anybody in?" Cool. And
I
then
mean,
he
it's
walks
hard to
away.
discreetly approach a castle where there's like a described 100-foot blank area.
No, it's
My
like
Lubna was just going to grab a
He should
shield
have
and
done.
walk because he assumed
just-
he was going to get shot.
just got to walk without rhythm, you know. Like, come on, we've all seen June.
He just starts sand walking.
Yeah, around.
Everyone's like, what the hell is that weird guy up to? Fucking go and arrest that psycho.
Just walking around the Citadel.
Just one guard's like, damn guys, I have that thing where I see through the ground movements. I can't see anyone. This
This
is really
guy,
weird.
he's moving
It's
with
blind
such
sight.
perfect rhythm. Such perfect lack of
This is
rhythm that
blind
I could
sight.
never see him.
My God, he blends in with the wind. It's crazy. Who are you talking about?
No wonder the man is a ghost. The man is a ghost.
Solid Snake?
Solid
All
Snake.
you can-
Oh god. He just
you can
like
only
he
smell
gets
his name.
under the nearest crate and just like walks his ass over there under a crate. Right, well, I think we'll call it there for this week, guys. It was wonderful having a wee catch up. Did you say you were free for Don't Starve Together? We will be playing Don't Starve next week, same time, same place.
I will 110% be free for Don't Starve Together. I
Oh.
can't say whether or not I'll be good at it, but
No, we're not looking
It's
for.
fine.
We're
We
not
aren't
looking
either.
for
I've
good at.
killed Vinny.
We're not looking for
I've
good
killed
at.
Vinny 3 times.
Yeah, we're
Looking
not
for
looking for good
players.
at. Don't worry about that at all. We've
Tell me,
got
do you
ready
like
for it.
gambling?
we've got infinite respawns on, so we're not looking for good at.
Right,
Tell me, do you
ready,
like
ready
gambling?
for that then. Ready for that.
Gambling's where it's at right now.
We were also looking at doing eventually, maybe not at the moment, maybe doing some like audience interactions for our viewers at home. Basically, you can like donate a small amount and like things will happen in game. But we'll see.
Oh, and that would be an incredibly interesting thing.
Yeah.
I would love to do. I would love to do, and this will be a fun concept. Kieran, you quite like Total War, yeah?
Mhm.
I'd love to do like a
Not good at it.
Total War campaign controlled by the chat, where it's like you give them like options and stuff like that. That'd be
That
pretty
would
fun.
be cool as well. But
That'd be pretty
there's an integration for Twitch for Don't Starve called Chaos Tricks. It's a mod for Don't Starve where you can choose the price for like how much things are going to cost. But I was going to just set them all to as low as possible, like a penny a fucking change basically. And just have it be like you can spawn bosses and you can spawn like loot and bad things and good things and yeah, just
We
thought
are
for a
so
little bit of
cooked, guys.
chaos.
You're so cooked, guys.
It's a treat.
Yeah, we've not had any like. Well, I'm going to progress a bit further in the Don't Starve stuff, and obviously we don't have that big a community at the moment, so I don't really want to harass anybody to donate anything. So
Or promise something that we can't.
or promise
get
something
to.
that we can't do. Yeah, but if there's interest on it and people want it rushed, feel free to ask. Although I don't think we're going to get that.
Mm.
But yeah, excellent. See you all same time, same place next week for Don't Starve. We should probably raid someone. You're right. We've got a good amount of viewers. We should raid someone. Who should we
Also,
raid?
Stan, who has
The church.
sponsored this episode today?
Yeah, you do the sponsor while we do the raid.
We're going to attack the church.
Once again, sponsored by General Grievous, guys. He's back, and he is ready to tell you about his new insurance pension scheme. General Grievous Pensions. One arm for 4 people, because he has 4 arms. You'd think it'd be the other way around, it'd be 4 arms for 1 people, but that's just how good his deal is. He uses 4 arms to serve 8 people their pension schemes.
Amazing.
Remember, invest in General Grievous pension schemes today.
Excellent. There's actually another D&D channel has just went live. 2 hours ago, not 2 minutes ago. But still,
Why not?
Fine.
A lovely little channel called RPG Geeks. They've got 12 viewers. So yeah, let's do the raid. Let's do a raid.
Let's do it.
Excellent. It'd be lovely if everyone joined in. We've got a couple of viewers at the moment. Yeah, that'd be lovely.
And if
Amazing.
you're on YouTube, I'm sorry.
And if you're on YouTube, still have a wonderful day. We still love and appreciate anybody that's watching us on YouTube. We love the regular like and subscribes and all that jazz. But yes, wonderful. I think we'll call it there for today. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.
Bye.